Patio enclosures. If you're a homeowner or a business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
And we are live. Welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Happy Tuesday, Kev.
2 days in a row.
As I said, happy Tuesday, I started to panic. I'm like, it is Tuesday, right? But yeah, we are off and rolling on a Tuesday. We're live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Make sure you are liking, following, subscribing, and being a part of everything we do on the digital side of things, of course. Twitter, at 1410 Kinner, at 1Kev Nash, at ESPN Dayton. That kind of covers it all. Plus, Instagram is at 1Kev Nash.
I make it real easy.
I'm not big on the gram. I'm not big on really any social media platform.
You're big on Twitter.
No, I'm disliked on Twitter. I don't know if I'm big on Twitter. We all know that if you don't have a big social media following, that you're not good at your job. So I'm really not good at my job as far as that's concerned. But excited to be hanging out with each and every one of you here this afternoon. Again, welcome in. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 Wing AM. I want to open up with a little dose of positivity. Yes, Kinner's changed since getting married. As a married man, I'm trying to be more positive. Right?
Okay.
That comes and goes throughout the year. Remember, I tried being positive to start the year with the Bengals, and then I was called every word you could imagine when I did the petty profile picture change, of course. But I thought Reds fans would appreciate this, maybe. I don't know what to make of this. We'll put some baseball music in the background. I'm not here to tell you that the Cincinnati Reds are good or that they're better than we expected or anything like that, because they're not. They're still the worst team in baseball, and I think that's all to be said about that. But I do have a question. We said that the ownership for the Reds was god-awful. Mainly, the final nail in the coffin was because they had moved on from Eugenio Suarez and they had moved on from Jesse Winker. Is there any chance... Forget the music. I'm killing the music. Is there any chance I'm trying to play something to drown out the lawnmower in the background? Because,
I was wondering when you were going to hear that.
It never fails, Kev. They never come to mow during the day. They wait. Oh, let's see. The building, the only live show in the building, we're going to wait until he's live to make as much noise outside as freaking possible. That's the most diva quality about me is don't mow when I'm on the air. I don't think that's too much to freaking ask. But anyways. Where was I before I pissed management off? Okay, here we go. So the Cincinnati Reds. I'm not going to give Reds ownership any credit here, but I do have to ask, is there anyone out there that is going to maybe consider looking at the other side of the decision to move on from Suarez and Winker and say, maybe they saw something we didn't? Maybe there was a reason that they decided to not financially invest long-term into Jesse Winker. Was there a thought process in their head that, you know what, his stock is as high as it's ever going to be? He's coming off of his breakout All-Star Game season. Now, was that a breakout season, and that's who Jesse Winker was going to be moving forward? Or was that just a quick, a one-hit wonder type deal? No one was willing to consider that when the Reds moved on from Jesse Winker. Eugenio Suarez had back-to-back bad seasons. I think we kind of understood why the Reds moved on from him, but at the same time, Eugenio Suarez was used as the main piece to move Jesse Winker, basically saying, we'll take Suarez off your hands, but we want that guy over there. The Reds moved on from both. And I'm, not here to give Reds ownership any kind of credit whatsoever, because I actually don't think I'm going to give them credit here, but I do believe that they might have gotten bailed out. How many of you out there listening to the show right now, all 5 of you, how many of you actually believe that the Reds would be better right now if they had Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez on this roster? Because that's the move that really sets you guys over the top. Let's not act like the where are they going to go comment is what set you over the top. You guys were pissed beforehand. This just gave you a reason to really hone in on one individual, and that was Phil Castellini, president of the Cincinnati Reds. But I found this interesting as I kind of look at this glass half full approach to this Reds season. Okay, this Reds team is not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to flirt with the wild card. They're not going to win the division or anything like that. But if the whole purpose of why we were angry that the Reds moved on from Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker was because they made the team worse, we have to acknowledge the fact that maybe they're not worse without them. In fact, I can argue that they would probably be worse with them. Yes, that's true. Here's the thing. Jesse Winker is 28 years old. You would have think we moved on from Babe Ruth with the way everyone acted, including me. Jesse Winker was a very average ball player before 2021. In fact, if you remember, Kev, I was very adamant and frustrated with people who kept saying he was the best hitter on the team because I kept saying you cannot be the best hitter on the team if every time a lefty pitcher goes to the mound, you can't be in the starting lineup that day or you can't pinch hit or you can't play a role in that game whatsoever. That to me is if your deficiency of hitting against left-handers is so poor that you can't even play or show up in a game that day, then you cannot be the best hitter on your team. I said that heading into last season. Then he had that breakout year, him alongside Nick Castellanos, of course. It was a very fun experience, despite the Reds still not winning ball games. But Jesse Winker kind of has returned back to form. Kev, this season, he's had 152 at-bats. He is hitting .217. He has 16 RBIs. He has hit 13 home runs, or 13. I'm sorry, he has hit 2 home runs. He has scored 13 runs, and he's had 33 hits. Now, with that, you're probably saying, oh, the 217 could be a little better, but he does have 13. He scored 13 runs, and, he has 16 RBIs. It sounds pretty, that's decent production, right? Not for Babe Ruth, not for the guy that the Reds gave away that is the whole reason that the Reds are poor this year, right? Well, how about his replacement, Tommy Pham? The Reds signed Tommy Pham after releasing Jesse Winker. Of course, the thing that confused people is because Tommy Pham costs a little bit of money that actually would have been more beneficial to spend on the Jesse Winker and extension moving forward, but that's besides the point. Tommy Pham, Kev, is hitting .221, has a higher average than Jesse Winker. He has 13 RBIs. That's 3 RBIs less than Jesse Winker. But he also has only had 140 at-bats compared to 152. But here's where it gets interesting. Tommy Pham has scored 23 runs, 10 more runs than Jesse Winker. His on-base percentage is through the roof. He's actually significantly higher than Jesse Winker, which means he is consistently on the base paths. He's consistently putting his team in position to either advance the runner or at least have a chance to score, something that Jesse Winker's not doing. He does have 5 home runs, and he has 31 hits. Tommy Pham is actually better than Jesse Winker for the Reds this season. Now, I don't think I'm being dramatic there. I don't think that I'm reaching or stretching here. But all I'm saying is if we are going to sit here and say that the Reds moving on from Jesse Winker was the nail in the coffin, is nobody going to give the Reds front office any credit at all for finding a guy that is actually playing better to this point? Now, again, it's still a long season left. I don't think I'm overreacting to this, but I am kind of reading into it. If the Reds had Jesse Winker and Jesse Winker provided the Reds a .217 average, 16 RBIs compared in 152 at-bats, and has only scored 13 runs compared to Tommy Pham's 23 runs, the Reds aren't better, they're worse. So it's a stretch. I might be taking something here and running with it. Maybe it's a hot take Tuesday for me. I don't know, but I find that interesting. Point number 2. Eugenio Suarez has had 154 at-bats. I'm actually happy for Suarez because he's had a bounce-back season. And it's sad that I'm looking at a guy hitting .227 and saying that he's had a bounce-back season, but this is a guy that was hitting at a pitcher's average, and yet David Bell kept him in the top half of the lineup every single day and night. I mean, my goodness. But in 154 at-bats this season for the Mariners, for Eugenio Suarez has scored 25 runs. Not bad. Okay, he scored 25 runs. He has 35 hits. He's hit 9 home runs. He's got a little bit of that pop in that bat back, which maybe this was just a case for him of a change of scenery. But Suarez is such a likable guy. That's why remember, I don't get mad at fans booing players. There's only one player I ever felt bad for, and that was Eugenio Suarez. That's the only time I've cracked a mic and said, Reds fans, back off, because he's just such a likable dude. But he does have 23 RBIs, 9 home runs. He's hitting .227. He's 30 years old. Now, Brian Drury, okay, and we talked about some of his stats from the other day about the barrel rate and all this stuff, but he's actually, from one of those advanced analytical standpoints, is one of the best hitters in baseball this season, which is kind of interesting. Now, he is hitting .246. Now, he's 29 years old. He's 1 year younger than Eugenio Suarez. But He has scored 19 runs compared to Suarez's 25 runs. He has 20 hits compared to the 35 hits from Suarez. All right. Now, keep in mind, Suarez, with all of this, he does have 50 more at-bats than Drury does. In 50 less at-bats, Drury has 7 home runs compared to Suarez's 9. He has 22 RBIs compared to 23 RBIs for Suarez, and he's hitting 246 compared to 227. Folks, there is a very good possibility that as bad as the Reds are with 12 wins and as bad as they are at putting the bat on the ball and scoring runs, and if you look at of the 12 wins, 3 of those have been by 1 run, the Cincinnati Reds, there is a very, very good chance that they are worse off with Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker, the 2 guys that the Reds moved on from. That was basically the nail in the coffin for all of Reds fans before Phil Castellini's comments. Let me be clear here. Phil Castellini's comments did not all of a sudden make happy Reds fans angry. Phil Castellini's comments took Reds fans who had already given up on the team and pushed them over the edge. So I'm not here to defend ownership. All I'm saying is there maybe a tiny chance that Nick Krall, the general manager for the Reds, said, hey, ownership, I think we need to maybe strike while the iron's hot with Winker and get some pitching prospects back, because the numbers are showing that was a out-of-body experience last year for Winker. And if you pay attention, Winker was horrible in the second half. Mm-hmm. Winker was horrible in the second half of the season last year. But he was so good in the first half that it padded the stats to kind of give a more fluffy look to the full body of work for the season. All I'm saying is trying to be a little bit more positive, glass half full. Maybe, just maybe, Nick Krall knew what he was doing. If we don't want to give Reds ownership credit, that's fine. I won't. Nick Krall, who's kind of been the punching bag here, taking all the shots for the ownership, you know, I think that maybe, just maybe, we're going to look at this Jesse Winker moving on from him here in the near future and say maybe it wasn't as big a deal as we thought. And the last point here for my glass half full opening segment to today's show, the Reds are developing talent. Can we sit back and acknowledge that a few years ago, about 10 years ago, when the Reds started this rebuild, or 7 years ago, they didn't develop anybody? In fact, the whole reason that they had to go spend money on pitchers and the whole reason that they had to go get a Castellanos and a Moustakas and these guys is because they had no hitters coming up through the system that were ready to go. All right. But you look at Jonathan India, the Reds developed him. You look at Tyler Stevenson, the Reds developed him. You look at Nick Senzel, the Reds developed him. All right. You look at the job that they have done with Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo, because you could argue that the Reds have actually been okay at developing hitters. It's been pitching that's been the problem over the last decade. Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo look fantastic. And by the way, I went to a Dragons game over the weekend, and pretty cool. It's actually the best Dragons team that I've seen live. And there is like a cool little following for the Dragons. Like, I always get the vibe that the Dragons energy, Kev, is just this, we'll take the family out. It's a ball game. It's the Dayton Dragons. It's our community team. Let's just go and support it. But like I saw, when certain players walked up, big prospects for the Reds, the fans went nuts for these guys, and these guys deliver and they look good. The Reds, I think, are onto something here. I'm not trying to spin it. I didn't get in trouble by Reds ownership. Folks, come on. We barely have people that listen to us. You think the ownership of the Reds is listening to us? Come on. Nothing I say is getting me in trouble like you guys think. Everyone's like, oh, he's saying this because he badmouthed the Reds and now they got onto him. They don't care what I say. I bet you they don't even know who the hell I am. So with that being said, I'm saying this because I'm really starting to look at some of these big picture moves. Moving on from Jesse Winker is not as big a deal as what we once thought. Moving on from Suarez, I don't think anyone was that outraged by it, but that is one of the reasons that they had to move on from Winker. And then the development of these young guys, they're going to have Tyler Stevenson, Jonathan India, Nick Senzel. They're going to have these guys, and Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo and TJ Antone and all these. This is the youth. This is the team of the future and the immediate future. And the immediate future looks brighter than you think. If you want to focus on that record, fine. All I'm saying is I woke up today. My glass was half full. It was not half empty. Kev, your thoughts?
Very rare for you to have the glass half full than empty.
Damn mowers.
So what I'll say is, we always hear this, like with the New England Patriots, they get rid of a guy a year early as opposed to a year too late. So is that what you're saying they did about?
I think so. Remember, I said at the beginning of the season that the Reds had gotten in trouble during their last rebuild because they waited a season and a half too long to move on from guys like Brandon Phillips and Jay Bruce and Todd Frazier. And, you continue going down the list. They waited too long to move on from them. And by the time they did move on from them, they couldn't get anything of significant return. They waited too long on Mike Leake. I don't think they got a great return for Johnny Cueto, of course. Obviously, the Chapman situation with domestic violence killed his, what he was able to get in return. But at the same time, they should have been able to make up for that with the other pieces that were playing at a high level. They waited too long, couldn't get anything in return. Imagine if right now, if the Reds decided here in May, maybe we don't want to sign Jesse Winker to an extension. We should dangle him out there to see what we can get for him. I promise you, the guy that's hitting 217, all right, and has struck out a ton and has made a few errors in the outfield, that guy for the Mariners, he's not getting a return. He's not getting a return. So I'm not defending the Reds here. All I'm saying is maybe, just maybe, Nick Krall, who I will give credit to, maybe he made the right decision here. That's all I got to say.
I mean, where are you going to go?
That's a great point. That's a great point. All right, so we're going to unlock the phone lines. 518-1410, 518-1410. Reds fans, I do want to hear from you. The Reds are back in action tonight, game 2 between the Reds and the Cubs. I am curious everyone's thoughts on the opening to this show regarding that. I'm not giving ownership credit. I'm just saying, is there any chance that Nick Krall might have been onto something here? Because I'm 90% sure that all of you out there that said that moving on from Jesse Winker was the final nail in the coffin, have any of you taken time to take a look at the fact that Tommy Pham is actually better than Jesse Winker this year? Have any of you taken the time to realize that although Eugenio Suarez has had a bounce-back year compared to his last 2 with the Reds, that Brandon Drury has been better than Suarez, that the Reds replaced him, they upgraded at 2 positions. It just doesn't feel as nice because Jesse Winker was a homegrown player. But I will say the Cincinnati Reds, I think, got bailed out here. The fact that Tommy Pham has been better than Jesse Winker, and the fact that Drury has been better than Suarez, and the fact that they've, obviously Tyler Stevenson has taken that huge next step forward, and then you look at Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green, the way that they've developed. All I'm saying is the glass is not as half empty as you think. I think it's more half full. If you're basing it off wins and losses, I understand why you're a little disappointed. But this season was never about wins and losses this year. It was always about the big picture rebuild. And I don't think this is drastic of a rebuild as what we saw back in 2016. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Phone lines are open. 518-1410. We'll chat when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Rob's Beer Barn is stocked with the newest summer seasonal beers and refreshments. That means Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all your Memorial Day needs. At Rob's, you can find all the ice-cold refreshments you'll need. Craft, imported, local, and seasonal beers, fine wine, snacks, and ice. Plus, Rob's has apparel. Rob's has it all. For last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and stock up today. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian Ripple Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn, just look for the beaver.
Dear Dad, this year we're making Father's Day extra special with the Untucked shirts that you love. Untucked has the styles that'll make your summer great, from wrinkle-free shirts to performance polos and more. They're designed to be worn untucked, so you can always feel sharp even at your most casual. Father's Day is June 19th. If you still need a gift, check out the new summer styles at untucked.com or one of 80-plus Untucked stores. Use code DAD for 20% off your first purchase. Untucked shirts, designed to be worn untucked.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Want to see the recipe for the perfect meal? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken for great food on the go with a chicken breast combo for only $5.99. You'll get our classic Famous Recipe chicken breast that's fresh, never frozen. It's honey dipped, hand breaded, and pressure cooked, then served up with a regular side, a fluffy biscuit, and a drink. This is why our chicken is famous. Get the combo that can't be beat with a chicken breast combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
Save today on your next project with 11% off everything at Menards. Works' affordable prices and innovative outdoor power tool designs. Get the job done right with power and ease. The 20-volt Works string trimmer and leaf blower cordless combo kit is just $99.99 after sale price and 11% rebate now at Menards. Good through May 30th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. N72. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Stop by Family Dollar and find everything you need to fire up the grill for the perfect cookout. Do more with your summer with Family Dollar.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM. Head to Facebook. Everyone has Facebook. Subscribe and like and follow the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. That's where you can watch the show weekdays from 3 to 6, as well as interact with us on any show topic at hand. If you want to let me know how dumb I am, how dumb I look, how dumb the show is, how dumb we are, whatever it is, or tell Kev how great he is, how you love the show because of Kev and all that stuff. That's how you do it. Go to the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, be a part of it. We're going to get to your Facebook reaction coming up here in a moment. But 518-1410, that's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. You'll have to excuse the sound of the mower in the background. That's the only time of the day that people can mow is right in the middle of my show. So I just, we all have to make sacrifices, I guess. But with that being said, I opened up the show today. I was very taken back by the fact that, I was kind of sitting here this morning. I'm like, I wonder what kind of season. I haven't heard Jesse Winker's name, Eugenio Suarez's name. And I was kind of delighted to see that Eugenio Suarez kind of had a little mini not breakout, but a comeback year, if you will. It's sad that I think that hitting 227 is a bounce back year after but that's how poorly he played. He was hitting well under 200. He was hitting at a pitcher's average. And that's just how drastically he dropped off. I mean, he was embarking on stardom not even 2-3 years ago and then just totally fell off the cliff. But he's had a kind of a bounce back year a little bit. He scored 25 runs. He has 9 home runs on the season, getting that power back in the bat. Has 35 hits, hitting 227 with 23 RBIs. But Jesse Winker, on the other hand, hitting 217. All right. That's a significant drop from last year. He has been able to bring in 16 runs. 16 RBIs. He has scored 13 runs himself in 152 at bats, only 2 home runs though. His power numbers have, disappeared and 33 hits on the season. Now I bring that up because I'm like, man, we started the season just so miserable because how can the Reds move on from Winker? Suarez, now that he's had a bounce back year, it'd be nice to say, oh, we got the better version of Suarez back, but that's not the case. With both of them gone though, and both of them still not playing as good as what the left fielder and the third baseman for the Reds is right now. It's kind of, or the outfielder I should say, it's kind of tough to say, you know what? The Reds would have been better if they had them. If the Reds had Jesse Winker and Suarez, would they be better this season? No, they wouldn't. For one, they have 12 wins. I mean, let's just say if you think that they're going to be better, how much better? What, 2 more wins? But I do think that the Reds would be worse with Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez this season. Like I said, Tommy Pham has a higher batting average. All right. He has 12 less at bats and only has 3 less RBIs than Winker, but he has also scored 10 more runs than Jesse Winker has. I mean, he scored 23 runs. He has 5 home runs, 31 hits. Tommy Pham is better than Jesse Winker. So the people out there that said, oh, the Reds would be better if they had Winker, no, they wouldn't. Eugenio Suarez, we talked about his numbers. Brandon Drury is better than Eugenio Suarez. He has 50 less at bats, but he only has 16 less runs scored on the season than Eugenio Suarez, who has 50 more at bats. He has Drury has 7 home runs compared to the 9 home runs for Suarez. Again, 50 more at bats. 23 RBIs for Suarez, who has 50 more at bats. Then Drury, who has 22 RBIs, and Drury at least hitting close to 250, and both 30 and 29 years old. No, the Reds would not be better with Eugenio Suarez and Jesse Winker.
So what do you say to the audience or the people that would say continuity, being with the Reds for an additional year, having that comfortability with the team, with the organization, with the home field and everything like that, a place that they played year after year, and now they're in a new place now, hitting maybe in a different spot than they would have been hitting for the Reds. What do you say about that?
Change of scenery for Suarez, I'm sure, definitely helps him. Change of scenery maybe has hurt Winker, and I'm sure he'll adapt in his numbers. I don't expect him to be this average to below average all season. Maybe he is, though. This is why I brought this up. Winker's career numbers aren't that great. He had a great all-star MVP caliber 2021 season, but he did dip off significantly after the 2021 all-star game where him and Castellanos were 2 of the 3 starting outfielders for the National League. So, that's why I'm like, maybe there was something that Nick Krall looked at and said, maybe we need to strike while the iron's hot. His value may never be higher than this. Maybe they knew what they were doing. And I know we don't want to give that front office any credit, but maybe they're doing something right. You look at what they're doing in the minors. They have one of the top minor league systems in baseball right now. I mean, there's so many top prospects there. You go to a Dayton Dragons game. I did this past weekend, and my goodness, the stars they have up and down that roster, those are future stars for the Cincinnati Reds, or at least star prospects to help get bigger stars in Cincinnati, if that's the case. I'm pretty excited about the future of the Reds. And then you look at the fact that they're developing talent. They developed Jonathan India. They developed Nick Senzel. Look at Tyler Stevenson, who has just exploded this season. They developed him. All right, they're developing guys, and they're developing Hunter Green. They're developing Nick Lodolo. I mean, these are things, especially at the pitching standpoint, that they were not doing back during that first rebuild. They're doing it now. Look, I'm not trying to sell you. So I'm not a salesman for the Reds. All right. In fact, you could ask the sellers for the radio station. They get on me. Can you take it a little easy on the Reds? It's really hard to sell the team that you're bashing every day from 3 to 6. Trust me, I'm not here to tell you something that's not true about this team, but not everything is dark and gloomy. That's all. But 518-1410, Kev, who we have?
Sean, line 2.
What up, Sean? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. Justin, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for being patient and holding for us. What you got for us today?
Hey, no problem. Hey, I just wanted to say, on rare instances, this would be one of them. I agree with you.
Hey, how about that? I'm a married man now. I think I have a different tone. I'm more mature. I'm just more grown up now. I think I'm relating to more people. Maybe that's it.
hey, that could be. That could be. But, yeah, I mean, I think we were all upset as Reds fans when they got rid of Winker and Suarez. They were fan favorites. They were really nice guys, and they seemed to play hard, so, they were easy for all of us to like. So, but yeah, after having time to sit on it, you look at it, Drury and Pham, not only are they outperforming them, but they're also cheaper. So the front office loves that. But I do think they are developing, a lot of young talent. I mean, look at the pitcher they got, the player we named later in that trade, and the pitcher, I think they're both on the Dragons, that they got for Sonny Gray. I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to strategically get guys or, trade them a year early.
Yep.
And just keep spending them every, 5 or 6 years. Just like, I personally hope that Luis Castillo and, Tyler Malley win their next, 6 starts, and then they spend them for more prospects because they're not going to re-sign them.
No, and
they're going to cost too much.
And I'm kind of hoping that, they don't continue. Like Jesse Winker, and like I said, I can't tell if I should give them credit or if they're being bailed out, because if Tommy Pham didn't come here and you had Aristides Aquino to rely on every single day, that would be a problem, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I can't tell if I don't think I'm overreacting, but I don't think I'm reacting at all. I think I'm just kind of putting my toe in the water of saying, maybe they saw something we didn't. All right. Maybe, and who knows, by the All-Star break, Winker could be back to an all-star form again, and you'll watch Pham kind of dip off a little bit. But for right now, we're 2 months into the season. I think we're kind of safe to say, I should say a little over a month into the season, I'm sorry, that maybe they saw something we didn't. But again, I don't like to give them credit. I'm just saying they probably got bailed out. But either way, we'll see what is the true narrative when it's all said and done.
Yep, and then one last thing. I just want the rest of the season, wins and losses, like you said, don't really matter. But I want to see progress. I want to see Garcia come back and really take hold of shortstop, and even though I love Kyle Farmer, but make him a super sub, I could I just want to see, or when Diaz struck out Jose Ramirez with the bases loaded in Cleveland and extras, little things like that. Just keep developing.
Absolutely.
I don't. So, but I appreciate you taking my call. Love this show, and, I will just leave you with 2 great words, and that's Hoo Day.
Oh, Sean, we had a good thing going. Take care, man. Good stuff there. Appreciate Sean. And 518-1410. We'll get to more of your calls coming up here in a moment. But yeah, that's all. I don't know what my take is on this outside of I'm just acknowledging that there's something there that the Reds might have been onto something, or they're being bailed out. If the Reds were not, because keep in mind, I'm not completely willing to give them all the credit, Kev, because when they got rid of Winker, people went nuts. And then they signed Pham. And I can't tell if Tommy Pham was signed because it was reaction to the negative press that they got for moving on from Winker, or if it's because they just truly felt Pham was better than Winker. If I had to guess, I think they got bailed out. I think they reacted to the pressure of not having any veterans in the outfield, and that's why they had to go with Tommy Pham. But at the same time, maybe they saw something we didn't. I don't know, but it is what it is. But the Suarez thing, man, I don't think anyone saw Drury, who's with the Mets for a while. Now comes over and is finally getting every day at bats. He's having a breakout year for himself. We'll see how much further that can help with the Reds. All right, let's a Facebook reaction, social media reaction. Interesting to see people's reaction to this. Again, did the Reds get bailed out by the production of Tommy Pham and Brandon Drury, or did the front office, did they see something we didn't? 518-1410, or your opinion can be heard live or read live on Facebook. Some guy on Facebook, Kev, says, I think they'd be better. The Reds would be better. He's going to tonight's game. He did say playing in Great American Ballpark helps.
Yeah.
To kind of go to your point, maybe just about camaraderie a little bit or just familiarity. But maybe that's a problem for Suarez. Suarez seems more locked in because of change of scenery. I'm sure Winker's numbers will be slightly better playing at GABP, but the Reds have actually played the third most road games of any team in baseball a month into the season. So keep that in mind as far as that's concerned. Greg Birdkey on Facebook, Kev says, give the front office a little time. Right now, the minor league teams are doing well. Hopefully, we get Green, Lodolo, and the other young pitcher some experience. And in a year or two, we have a great young team with experienced pitching to lead the way. I'm with you. I think that's kind of what's happening here. I just think that we threw temper tantrums because, as we should, I don't like rebuilds. You guys don't like rebuilds. And that's just kind of where we're at when it's all said and done. David Shaw, always love hearing from Shaw. He says, the question I have is this. In August, if and when these numbers flip and Winker is hitting better, does Justin retract this comment? This is the thing that Shaw never seems to understand, Kev. He doesn't get, like, if we are supposed to wait until the season finishes out before we have an opinion, then we might as well not have a show. We might as well only do 4 shows a year. We'll do a wrap-up show. We'll do one show at the end of the World Series. We'll do one show at the end of the NBA Finals, one show at the end of the Super Bowl, and one show at the end of the College Football National Championship. Because all of our opinions are based on the now. Our takes are based on what's happening now. Like, what is so hard about that to understand? I'm making an observation after a month and a half into the season that maybe the Reds front office was onto something. Jesse Winker is kind of, his numbers are back down to what his career numbers are. Very, very average. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, did the Reds, did they get bailed out by bringing in Tommy Pham, who's playing better at this point than Winker, or did they see something we didn't? So yes, Shaw, in August, if the numbers are flipped, then yes, at that time I'll probably say, yeah, Jesse Winker just had a slow start to the season. But based on right now, on May 24th, 2022, that is when I am giving my opinion based on where we are at right now on May 4th. 2022. And if we get to August 24th, if 2022, when the numbers are flipped, there's no need to really retract a comment. I'll just give you my take on how they're playing at that point on August 24th, 2022. Because right now, my opinion is spot on based on where we're at on May 24th, 2022. And I really hope I got the date right because I said that a lot.
Correct.
3:44
p.m.
To be exact, right?
Eastern Standard Time.
So there it is. Mark Smith said they've waited too long on Votto also about trading on from Votto. David Shaw again responds to Mark Smith and says, Mark Smith, no one is taking that contract. Look, I don't want to hear that teams won't take that contract. You act like Joey Votto has this top 5, top 10 contract in baseball. Kev, Joey Votto, with the way people talk about his contract, you think he's like the highest paid player in baseball? He's not even in the top 20 highest paid players in baseball right now. If a team wants him, they'll take him. And based on the excitement level in Toronto over the weekend, pretty sure if there's a way for them to get him, they'll get him. But you know what he has to do? He has to waive his no-trade clause. When you have a no-trade clause, you're a free agent, basically, because unless you tell your team, I'm willing to waive it to go here, or unless Joey Votto decides that he cares about winning and wants to actually go, follow a team or go play for a team that's winning, that's why he's going nowhere, not because a team won't take that contract. There you go. It only took a few minutes for him to get under my skin, but here we are, Kev. Here we are. So, all right, 518-1410. Robert Hicks on Facebook, Kev, says, I'm tired of giving the Reds the benefit of the doubt, especially when payroll is included. Robert, I'm with you. That's why I'm like, I can't tell if they got bailed out or if they made the right move here. That's why I'm not really giving a hot take one way or the other. I'm just trying to figure it out, but I'm also acknowledging the fact that the Reds, for the time being, look like they might have made the right decision, especially if the prospects they got in return, who have panned out pretty nicely in the minors, develop into big names in the major league level for the Reds, or maybe bring stars in return in a trade. The front office might look pretty smart here. But as far as I'm concerned, the payroll, the Reds are just done with how they spend money, because the Reds spend money. I know you guys don't want to hear that. They spend money. They just don't spend it very well. That's the problem. It's a Cincinnati thing. Until recently, of course. All right. 518-1410. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. That's 614-470-2000.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
O'Reilly. This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs coming up because I have a question about, maybe we could start the conversation now. We have about 5 minutes before we close out hour number one. We don't talk a ton of NBA on the show. I know someone sent some notes last night. Love to hear some thoughts on the NBA playoffs. Totally fine. The way we kind of set up the show, and if Kev, can strangle me for 1 moment and say talk more NBA playoffs, he would get his way for sure. You just need to be you just strangle me. Maybe you need to hit me or something to get my attention. But you never win with this because here's the deal: like we don't have an NBA team in the area,
right?
Technically, in Ohio too, and the Cavs aren't even in it, so it's not like it's that. I would frame the show based on kind of a LeBron James angle as far as him being in the finals or him being a deep playoff run. He's not in the playoffs this year, so it's been tough to jump on a localized NBA topic. And just to kind of be honest with kind of how we approach this, even when we go a national topic, I try to frame it in a way that we can relate to it based on the teams we follow. If something happens with the Yankees, obviously the Yankees aren't anywhere close, but what if something like that happened in Cincinnati with the Reds? How would you respond? That's how we try to localize it a bit. It's kind of tough to do in the NBA right now there's really no local flair at all. Luke Kennard's not in the playoffs anymore. Obi Toppin with the Knicks not in the playoffs right now. So there's that aspect of it. But something last night I watched in the playoffs, the one thing I'm really having a good time enjoying for once. One thing I hate about the NBA right now is I hate that they're all friends. And maybe back in the 80s and 90s, they were all friends too. But without social media, we really didn't get to kind of know who these guys were off the floor. I kind of like the idea of kind of like a wrestling term, a kayfabe type deal, where you know who they are as the wrestler, you don't know who they are as the person, and that kind of keeps the credibility of the product intact. You just view them as who they are. I want to know that, when Kobe Bryant was a killer on the floor, that's who he was in all aspects of life. And he kind of was. He softened up, when he became a parent and all that stuff, as he should, by the way. RIP to the great one. I kind of don't like social media. I don't like having as much access to players as what we do, because I feel like that's why I've always asked this. There's no way Michael Jordan was as popular as what everyone makes him out to be now, right? But the thing is, for you fans of MJ growing up in the 90s, MJ was only MJ, and highlights, games that you watched, and weird TMZ clips of him walking from one hotel to the car, from the car to the store, from the restaurant back to the car. Like, that's the only time you saw clips.
I don't even think TMZ was out when MJ was in the league.
Whatever thing was chasing people down for Scoop.
The Inquirer.
The Inquirer, there you go. But you know what I mean? Like, back then, MJ was just MJ, the killer basketball player. But I'm pretty sure if MJ had social media and was outspoken about politics and was outspoken about, different shows that he likes, movies he likes, or that he's friends with a Republican, or heaven forbid, friends with a Democrat, or friends with people would have hated MJ the way that they hate LeBron now. I think the athletes seem more hated today than any time before, is because we know these athletes better than we've ever known athletes before. And so my problem is I'm pretty sure the players were friends back in the day, but the only thing we would see is when they would fight on the floor, and that's, oh man, they hate each other. Look,
right.
I've never seen them smile together. There's no, Barkley didn't have a profile picture of him and Shaq together growing up. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the only clip of them is when he was throwing a basketball at his head and Shaq went and swung at him and tried to knock him out. Now, you know how close they are, but at that time, the only thing that was protected was the relationship they had or did not have as far as the NBA was concerned, because it's only on the floor that you saw them. So, getting to know the players, although you want access, sometimes I don't like access, because I would like to think these guys hate one another. I would like to think that there's a killer instinct in these players, that if you're either with me or you're against me. So I don't like the buddy-buddy stuff. And that's kind of really come to fruition over the last decade and a half in the NBA. Some like it, some don't. I'm not losing sleep over it. I just prefer to see that killer instinct in players that there just doesn't exist today. But there's one player that has it that I'm like obsessed with right now, and that's Luka. Luka, every time I turn on the damn TV, he's John at Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He's John at Ja Morant. He's John at Joel Embiid. I know that's not just the playoffs here, but every time I turn on the TV, he's at people. Yeah. He's not there to be invited on the banana boat in the offseason. He's not there that you'll be invited to parties in the offseason. He is there for one reason and one reason only. That's to rip your face off and to do everything he can to win, him play great, and to help his team succeed and win. I think if you want to talk about who the face of the NBA is post LeBron, because right now I still think it's LeBron, although that is starting to fade a bit. But I think Luka is that next guy that is the face of the NBA, because I think it's going to be a crossover between a mix of old school and new school. He has that new school style of play, that big style point guard, of course, that new school, you know what I mean? But like also that old school approach of, there's videos floating around of him before an NBA game, playoff game, Kev, he's having a beer before the game. That's some old school stuff right there. I love that. All right. The fact that he's not out there competing against somebody and then they're smiling, helping each other up, and they're, high-fiving and almost taking a selfie together and all that. It's like, my gosh, where's the killer instinct? He has that. That's why I like Luka. That's why I liked Russell Westbrook. I'm not saying Russell Westbrook could be the face of the NBA, not even close, but that's why I was a big fan of Westbrook back in the day, with him coming up as he was just that pit bull, man. He didn't want to be friends with you. He didn't care. He just wanted to rip your face off. That's why I liked Kevin Garnett. Those guys. I mean, look, he didn't talk to, him and Ray Allen, they just made up, and he didn't talk to him for almost 6-7 years, because he left the Celtics and joined LeBron, the enemy. That's the last of that old school mentality. I feel like, where no, you're either with us or you're against us. I love that. And I feel like Luka has that. And I think he could be that blend of attracting the new fans and appeasing the new and current fans, as well as maybe being an attraction to some of those old school fans as well. I'm a big fan of Luka. So much time. It's been weird watching NBA coverage and it not be about Kevin Durant or LeBron James, because that's what's dominated the last 10 plus years. No Kobe, no LeBron, no Kevin Durant. It's Luka, it's Steph Curry, and who's an old and new guy at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? I keep forgetting how long he's been in the league.
Yeah.
He's closer to retirement than he is his prime. So no James Harden, none of these tiresome names that I'm tired of hearing about. It's the new guys, and I think that's pretty dang cool. But I'm a big fan of Luka. I think he's fantastic. Ja Morant's going to be there for the next decade, but I'm a big fan of that. Those guys have that killer instinct. They're not there to be your friend. They're there to rip your face off, and that's why I'm a huge fan of them.
Very refreshing. Very refreshing. And, let's be clear. If LeBron was still playing, if James Harden and Embiid were still playing, and KD were still playing, they would have earned the right to be there. They would have earned the right to be talked about as headline news because they would still be playing, but their teams aren't in it. So they moved to the back seat. And somehow, some way, we still find a way to bring up James Harden every week, every time they're talking about NBA or the playoffs. They find some way to bring up dudes that aren't playing in the playoffs anymore. But the games have been solid. Especially the other round with Milwaukee and Boston. That series was crazy. I mean, the show that Jason Tatum and Giannis put on in that second round was just next level. But I want to add to the list of guys that got that oomph, that bring that oomph to the basketball court. Jimmy Butler brings that oomph, brings that I don't care
toughness
attitude,
factor, yep.
that toughness. Obviously, the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, brings that type of attitude to the table. Patrick Beverley, I mean, he made headlines all last week doing his ESPN car wash, bashing Chris Paul because of Chris Paul's performance in versus Luka and the Mavericks and everything like that. So it's a lot of guys out there that bring that dog mentality and that we not friends on the basketball court. But I think there's it to be said where guys can turn it on and off. Like, once you cross, those lines, we're enemies and everything like that. But once the game is over, all right, man, that's game. And I can appreciate that. But, looking at this Eastern and Western Conference final matchup, man, this Celtics Heat is going 7. It's going 7. I mean, as long as Jimmy Butler can get that knee situated, it's going to go 7. I mean, the way he controls the game with pace of play, and I know everybody talks about three-pointer this, three-pointer that. Jimmy Butler don't shoot threes. Jimmy Butler goes to the rack. Jimmy Butler works in the mid-range and dropped 41 points and only attempted 16 shots. That is crazy. That is insane that you scored that many points and you haven't even attempted more shots than you could have made points. Like, that's crazy. And then you look at a guy like Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is such a young player, but he's been in the leagues for such a long time. So he's not only just young, but he's very experienced as well. And the one knock I have on Jason Tatum is the turnover thing. Like, there's games where he's up in the turnovers at 12. You can't turn the ball over that many times versus the Miami Heat, who thrive off of turnovers. For a guy like Jimmy Butler, who hunts steals, that's what his job is. His job is that I'm going to take the ball from you. So if you're loose with the ball, I'm going to take it and I'm going to go down the other end and I'm going to dunk it. That's his game. And then you flip to the Western Conference Finals. I see a mirror image of LeBron James and Luka. Obviously, LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players ever to play basketball. But I look at Luka, he has that type of impact. And a stat that I do look at, even though I don't look at plus minus all like that, I do look at usage rate. Luka's usage rate is plus 40%. That means ain't nobody else touching the ball. That means I'm getting the rebound. I am setting up the offense. Either I'm going to assist on the offense or I'm going to score the ball. And stat wise, I mean, Luka is off the charts. I mean, he's almost averaging 40 points. It's almost averaging 40 points. And his shooting percentage is pretty solid, even though Andrew Wiggins is doing a pretty good job defensively. I still don't think the Mavericks get swept tonight. I still think that they get one and they take it back to Golden State and they'll eventually lose in 5. But this Eastern Conference Finals is going 7. And the one thing that is irking me about this is the fact that Boston is banged up with Marcus Smart and Williams are in and out the lineup. And now Jimmy Butler is in and out the lineup as well as Kyle Lowry. So you're not getting their very best right now. And that's all you really want as a sports fan at this time of the year. You want the very best out of the best teams because you want them to put on a show, because this is about to be it. We're about to end the basketball season in about 2-3 weeks. We want 7 games out of the Eastern Conference Finals. We want 7 out of the Western Conference Finals, and we want 7 in the finals. And we want good basketball. these blowouts in the Eastern Conference Finals is boring me to death. But these good comebacks by the Warriors versus the Mavs keeps me awake at night. You know, the Mavs will get up 20 and we going into the fourth and they only up by 10. And slowly but surely, here comes Steph and the Warriors just chopping away and coming back, man. It's highly entertaining, man. If you're not watching the NBA playoffs, man, you're missing out.
So let me ask you this. There's only one team, the veteran group. I mean, the Golden State Warriors used to be that team that was that hot up-and-coming team.
Right.
They were the new kids on the block. Now Steph Curry's the old chiseled veteran.
Yeah.
Right? Steve Kerr.
Full beard now.
Up-and-coming young head coach, and now he's the Greg Popovich / Phil Jackson type, savant, if you will, of NBA coaches right now. And, for them to win a championship before Kevin Durant, win multiple titles with Kevin Durant, and might be on their way to winning a title post Kevin Durant. This is one of the most impressive runs in the last 2 decades from any team, just because they were homegrown. I know there's titles going to be sprinkled in there with the Kevin Durant, but keep in mind, it's one thing to scrap an entire roster and then build it with stars, but you kept your championship team intact by adding a star. So if you want to make an excuse for them that way, fine. But now you take out the Golden State Warriors, you have the Miami Heat, who have been to a finals within the last 2 years and lost to the Lakers back in 20 in the bubble. But Jimmy Butler's the face of that team. They do have Kyle Lowry. Spoelstra's won 2 titles before already with LeBron James, D. Wade, and Bosh back in the day. But this team has not won a title. The face of the Heat has not won a title in Jimmy Butler. You look at the Celtics, Jason Tatum, one of a top 5 arguably player in the NBA right now. He's had multiple chances. He's been to multiple Eastern Conference titles. Getting to a finals is a must at this point. Otherwise, he's going to lose some of that star, that I don't know, that aura to him before we start now criticizing Tatum. Because everything, remember, you don't stay popular for long before you start being put into that criticism category. A lot's on the line for him. But the Celtics and Tatum haven't won one. You look at the Dallas Mavericks with Luka, getting to the finals at this stage of his career, just a few years into it. But he hasn't been to one or won one either. So what's best for the league right now? We're watching the final years of Durant and LeBron here. I don't know when that sun is going to officially set, but we know we're kind of embracing. We're approaching the post LeBron era. Do you want to see a veteran team like the Warriors win another championship? Or I think that the NBA, even though they're in a healthy place right now with all the young talent they have, they kind of need some new blood to not just be stars in the league, but to show up in the playoffs and kind of start showing signs of, okay, who's that new dynasty player, not dynasty team? Because I think the dynasty teams, the Warriors might be the last of that because players keep hopping so much. But when MJ left the game, the Lakers were already in the midst of their dynasties. Kobe was already established. He was kind of that guy. LeBron is about to be done, but so is Steph Curry. And Steph Curry is that next face of the
Steph is 34.
Maybe he has a few. I guess
he'll still play, but I mean, play at this level. I mean, let's be clear. Steph Curry isn't Steph Curry anymore. Like, he's not launching 40-footers anymore. Like, if you watch the Warriors play now, yes, the core guys are there. Steph Curry, Draymond, Clay, those guys are still there, but they're not playing like they used to. Like, they shoot a lot of 2s and layups now because it takes a lot of core strength and a lot of legs to shoot the shots that they used to shoot. And then you look at Clay coming off of missing 2 years of basketball. He's definitely not the same defensive player he used to be. Ideally, if I'm in charge of the NBA, I am hoping for the Warriors and the Celtics.
Yeah, real quick, because the question I was going to throw out there and finish your point on that, but to set it up, what is the NBA hoping for? Is the NBA hoping for another title to be won for Steph Curry and the Warriors? Is that good for business? By the way, yes, it's good for business, but there's always something that's better for business.
Right.
I think what's best for the NBA is to have a Luka win it, which I don't see them coming back from down 3-0, but Luka winning it to be that new face, that new champion. Like Giannis last year, that was big time.
Huge.
I still think that was a weird little asterisk one because coming out of the pandemic and so many teams hurt. I know injuries are part of it right now. But I know this sounds dumb. Giannis's title will be more credible if you see a team like Boston win it this year. A non-super team. If back-to-back seasons with non-super teams winning it, that's where that's going to start to add that credibility to these titles right now. But like last year with all the super teams going down injured, it was kind of like, well, they were the last one standing, if you will. But if Boston wins it this year, that's huge. If Dallas comes back, I don't see that necessarily happen, but who knows? But I think what's best for the NBA, the Celtics winning it all or the Mavericks winning it all is what's best, but the most realistic, I think the Celtics, Jason Tatum, this is as good a chance as they're ever going to have to probably get it done at this point because it's right there. And you're a top team. It's right there. You're not promised to come back because the league's getting better. The league's getting deeper. I just think that right now the NBA is like, we need to get a title on Jason Tatum. So we could start now. The faces of the NBA moving forward aren't just the talented players, but Jason Tatum, NBA champion.
Right.
You know, Giannis Antetokounmpo, NBA champion.
Right.
Because they have there's Luka, there's Trae Young, there's Ja Morant. There's a ton of young talent to take over when LeBron and KD leave. But who's that young champion?
Who has the ring?
You have it with Giannis. I think they need another one. I think it needs to be Luka. I think it needs to be Ja. It needs to be Jason Tatum. But Tatum's been around for a while, too. I think he's one for a legacy standpoint. He needs it probably more than anyone else.
Dang, we're talking about legacy at how old is Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum.
In the league forever, since back when LeBron was with the Cavs still.
Jason
right?
Tatum.
Not the first go round, but you know what I mean. Like 17. I think he was drafted in 17.
All right. Without cheating, how old is Jason Tatum?
Probably 27, probably.
24.
Holy.
He just turned 24.
Oh, because he was one year
one and done.
That's what's crazy.
He just turned 24. Not a 24 that's about to turn 25. He turned 24 in March.
But how many years? But this is why Steph Curry's not old, but he seems to be around forever. But he was 3 years in college.
Yeah, he played 3 years in college. Jason Tatum has been in the league since 17.
Who did he come in the league with? Who was the big player that year? That, God dang it, who was the?
And Jaylen Brown has been in the league 1 year before him.
Yeah, I mean,
but to that point, it has to be for the NBA. They got to be rooting for the Celtics and the Warriors to make the finals. Just like you said, like, okay, we have our established team in the Warriors. These are faces. These are brand name guys that you know, that you've been watching play in the NBA finals year after year, year after year. Now we have our known commodity in the Boston Celtics, but this is version 5 of the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Udoka, the new head coach, the new guy on the block, and everything like that. This is the new upcoming thing. That is how the NBA always works. This is how it always works. But when Michael Jordan got in the Bulls, won their first championship, it was against a known commodity in the Los Angeles Lakers and Magic Johnson.
They were coming up.
Exactly.
This could be that type.
Exactly. In the same way that the other teams have won championships, like the veteran team makes it from one side, the up and coming team makes it from the other side. They collide. Maybe the young team gets it, and then they start rolling. And then they're the number one guy. Because, I mean, look at the Warriors. Like, they knocked off guys, and now they're the veteran team in the league. So that's how it goes. I mean, this is the matchup. That's the matchup they want. But I am rooting for the Celtics because I'm a huge Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown fan. I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan, but I just don't think that the Heat have enough firepower to deal with the Celtics. I think the Celtics are just far more talented. Look at the Heat's roster. And I know this isn't college recruiting or anything like that, but outside of Kyle Lowry and Bam, those are the only guys coming out of high school that were projected to be NBA players. Jimmy Butler went to community college. He then went to Marquette and played all 4 years at Marquette. And look at they got not walk-ons, but they got undrafted guys starting in their backcourt. You look at the Celtics roster. You look at Marcus Smart, McDonald's All-American. You look at Jason Tatum, McDonald's All-American. Jaylen Brown, McDonald's All-American. Al Horford, I mean, he was a 2-time champion in college. Like, these dudes were known commodities coming out of high school and college and everything like that. The talent factor for the Celtics is just way higher than it is for the Miami Heat. Just way higher. And I think if the Celtics somehow can beat the Heat in 6, they will beat the Warriors, because I think that their talent is just so much better than everybody else's. Even though Steph is an all-time great and you got all these guys, they do not defend at the same level that they used to. The Warriors just do not defend at the same level. I mean, people are going to talk about, oh man, Luka's cooking. Well, Luka cooks everybody. I mean, that's a given. But guess what? The Celtics have Jason Tatum, who's going to cook. They have Jaylen Brown, who's going to cook. Guess what? Wiggins can't guard them both at the same time. I think that the Celtics, if they can get there in 6, I think the Celtics win it.
So on Facebook, and we're live on Facebook, head to Facebook, The Justin Kinner Show, like, follow, watch the show, and your opinions could be brought into the show. We'll read them live for those who can't call in. Lamar Shelley says it doesn't matter who's in the playoffs if every game is a blowout. This is ridiculous. He says it doesn't matter who's in the final. Sorry, I think it matters. Look, I think what you're seeing right now is this is probably one of the best defensive NBA playoffs we've seen in a while, because JJ Redick talked about this too when they talked about no defense is played in the league today. Well, he brought up a good point. He goes, defense is played in the league today, but we went the super team route where there was 4 or 5 teams with 3 top 100 NBA players on them, and you don't stop that. You don't stop all-star rosters. Now the league is kind of spreading out a bit. There's more parity, and now you have your 1 to 2 dominant stars with a lot of really good role players. And you know who the really good role players are? The better defenders in the league who can also the 3 and D.
I mean, think about it like this. Also, I'm gonna let you finish. But Andrew Wiggins was
people who interrupt. I've never do that to you, Kev. I mean,
Andrew Wiggins was the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. He's a solid NBA player with his time with the Timberwolves and everything like that. Now he's like the 3rd, 4th option on the Warriors. He's an all-star. You know what I'm saying? But that speaks to the talent level. That speaks to the talent level. Like, all right, man, if Andrew Wiggins is your 3rd or 4th guy, he's going to get busy because guess what? We have to worry about a Steph. We have to worry about a Clay. Now we throw Joe Blow on him, and he's going to destroy Joe Blow. Like he destroyed Luka on that dunk. Like it's just that easy when you have that amount of talent. And you talk about building teams from the ground up. Look at the Celtics. These guys have been drafted and developed by the Celtics. Marcus Smart, drafted, developed by the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, Tatum. These are all dudes that have been with them. So, I mean, I'm rooting for the Celtics. I've never thought I would say that outside of the KG years, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing that, man. Warriors. And you know how much of a big Jimmy Butler fan I am.
Warriors Celtics in the finals is also what would be best for the league because the reason people said they fell out of love with the league is because they got tired of all the player movement and the stars hopping all over the Warriors. It's been the Draymond, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson show with Steve Kerr's the head coach for going on half a decade now.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Celtics. Celtics have been, this core has been together for 3 or 4 years now. So these are teams who are built and developed, and I think that's pretty damn cool. Not that it wouldn't be cool to see Dallas get there. It wouldn't be cool to see Miami get there. Miami's been there from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think watching the Mavericks or watching the Celtics, and watching the Warriors, 2 different, more old school, 2 old school built type teams. I think that says something right there. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash here on 1410 Wing AM, doing something we never do, talking a little NBA basketball, right? NBA playoffs and everything along those lines. But watching Luka kind of not care about being friends with the other stars on the other team. A lot of these guys, they're trying out. They want to be buddy-buddy because they eventually want to be teammates, right? Like that's kind of the vibe that we felt for the many years now, especially since that early, the 2010s when LeBron went to the Heat, and then it was all about the politics of the game, trying to position yourself, be buddy-buddy here, let's go team up. I'm not saying that that's never going to happen again, but I think right now you're starting to see teams like the Warriors and Celtics who are building it and building around their stars and adding depth and being very smart in the draft. I think that goes a long way. But 518-1410, we'll pick up with this on the other side. We do got some more NFL stuff to dive into. We'll get back to the typical repeats. We're like Hot 1029. We play the same hits every day, right? That's a shot at my dude Kev over here.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate your listenership.
We'll be back in a moment.
Cars and parts, swap meet and car show, bring the family.
Hot rods, muscle cars, classics. You've got to see Cars and Parts Giant Swap Meeting Car Show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Great family fun. Bargains on everything automotive, from rare old parts to racing collectibles. You've got to be there this weekend at the Clark County Fairgrounds in Springfield. Call 937-376-0111 for details.
Cars and Parts, swap meet and car show, bring the family.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your dog.
Check front door, check window, check other window. Rest chin on ground, look into distance. Bark for no reason. Check front door, check window, check other window.
Your pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Chase shiny ball, lose shiny ball. Find shiny ball, eat shiny ball.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
My friends and I are hanging out this weekend, and I'm on cooler duty.
Well, these seltzers and canned cocktails, they'll make you the king of the cooler.
Oh, that sounds good. Wow, I can fill my cooler without emptying my wallet?
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, be21.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. It's a primal, wild freedom, a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, sound effects guy. No. We really lost our stride at the end there. Get 24/7 roadside assistance with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance subject to policy terms and limits and may require comprehensive coverage.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, a high near 75. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy, a low near 60. And tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freights, new equipment. Call Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Ready to make your family meal famous? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken for the 16-piece family meal at a great price. You'll get 16 pieces of our classic Famous Recipe Chicken that's fresh, never frozen. It's honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and pressure-cooked to perfection, along with 4 of our large sides and 8 fluffy biscuits. This is the family meal upgraded. Get the meal with the most when you try our 16-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy on it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease, asthma, diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia, Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Can sports betting hurry up and become a thing here in the state of Ohio? Like, I'm getting really impatient. No, seriously, I keep doing this thing on FanDuel where I just keep going through. Like, for instance, for Ohio State against Notre Dame. Obviously, they're a 14-point favorite as we currently sit here. But, I mean, if you're interested in making money, like you place a $5 bet on Ohio State to beat Notre Dame, all right, you win $4.35. Now, I mean, that may not sound like a lot, but see, this is what you do. Betting advice from Kinner, who doesn't bet. But if I did, you win $4.30, and then your next bet you win $3. Your next bet, and you just keep saving that all year. It's a little addiction piggy bank. I mean, that's if you don't that's if you don't lose. It's only gambling if you lose.
What about parlays? You gonna do some parlays once it's legal?
I can't wait, dude. I just can't wait. I'm excited as hell.
I keep seeing these parlays where you can bet $10 and make like $7,000, but you got to hit like all 7 parlays and everything like that. I saw one. Matter of fact, our guy A Dizzle, he almost hit a $7,000 parlay. He was down in Tennessee. He missed it because Steph Curry only got 8 rebounds instead of 10, and then something else didn't happen, but everything else happened. So he was super close. He was super close from turning $10 into 7 G's.
It's not bad. Not bad. Now, see, okay, so for instance, and I'm just the parlays too always fascinate me. These are just easy parlays, just, who wins, making the playoffs, the 3-leg parlay. So this one right here, if the Giants, the Guardians, and the Diamondbacks all make the playoffs, a $1 bet wins you $150. Now, let's look at why that's very unlikely. You look at the Giants right now, but the Giants 22-19, they have a good chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks 22-22, they have a good chance of making the playoffs. Who's the other team I said in there?
Guardians.
In the Guardians. And the Guardians, they have a chance. They're right there in the thick of things too, in the American League and in their division. So a $1 bet. Come on now.
That's how they get you,
easy.
man.
This gambling thing is easy.
Piece of cake,
I'm
right?
gonna be so rich when sports gambling's legal here in Ohio. Like, I don't know all the rules about sports. Like, I do know that legally it has to be set up and in place before January 1st of 23.
Right.
And without any concrete articles on it that I've come across, I mean, they're ideally trying to push it to be here before the NFL season. I am going to be the richest man alive. I'm going to win every bet.
You just bought a house, right? Yes. And you just got married.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just reminding you.
Stuff somehow. I'm just saying.
Just reminding you.
Holy moly, man! I'm just saying, yeah,
you're gonna go broke $10 at a time.
No, $1-2 at a time. You don't gotta, you gotta spend money to make money though, unless you hit on these parlays. A $1 bet wins you $150. If the Diamondbacks, Guardians, and Giants make the playoffs, $1 wins you $150. Just saying. What did I do yesterday? Let me with the Cincinnati Reds, if they make the playoffs, according to FanDuel Sportsbook over here, again for entertainment purposes only, if you bet $1 for the Reds to make the playoffs, you win $50. And guess what? If you win $2, you win $100. You win $3, you win. I mean, it's pretty simple math here. Even old Kinner over here can follow along. Just saying. Come on, Sportsbook. Let's go. Let's get this rolling.
So, sports gambling is legal in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Is it legal in Kentucky? It's not legal in Kentucky.
So it's legal in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana. Okay. For my honeymoon, when we went to Louisville for my bachelor party. We went to a casino there. We placed our first sports bet over there. That was for Hunter Green. It was over 4.5 strikeouts, and he had 5 like in the first 3 or 4 innings. So we won that one. That was pretty, whatever. Louisiana, Michigan. The only good thing about Michigan is they have legalized sports betting. So they New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming.
So every state that borders Ohio has legal sports betting, except for the great state of Ohio.
Can't get high, you can't bet.
That is crazy.
I just want to be high and lose my money gambling. That way, when I lose it all, who cares? I'll be high. I won't feel anything, right? Like I just like I don't know. Like,
goodness.
There we go.
West Virginia too.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Ohio, get it together, man. Michigan, that is despicable.
Yeah, it's a pain. Real quick, we were talking NBA playoffs a little bit ago. I talked about the fact that, we're kind of the LeBron days are wrapping up in the NBA. I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3 more seasons. I don't know how many more years of LeBron we're going to get. Obviously, I still think he's the face of the NBA. You think 3?
3.
I still think he's the face of the NBA. I think when you think NBA, you think LeBron, although there's some other names that are starting to kind of gain some momentum a little bit. But, when MJ officially left back in 2001 with the Wizards or 2002 with the Wizards, I think it was 2002 was his last season in the NBA. It was sad watching MJ wrap up his career. It was sad watching his career with the Wizards, by the way, but it was sad watching him wrap up his career, but it didn't feel like the league was in trouble. Like you had 2 dynasties going at the same time. You had the Spurs and the Lakers. You had Kobe and Shaq, and you had, Robinson, who had just retired, but Tim Duncan and Parker and Ginobili and all those guys that were just starting to take over again. It was the Lakers and the Spurs that dominated on that side. And then you had so many stars in the Eastern Conference with like Tracy McGrady and Allen Iverson. And there was like those post-Michael days. The league was in very good shape. Is the league, if LeBron was to retire this offseason, is the league healthier now post LeBron than it was post MJ in 2002?
Yes, because there's a lot more younger fans right now.
I thought, really? You think it's a younger fan base now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the fans of the NBA now, they even just watch the game highlight style on Twitter, and they had those micro games that are NFL wise or college football wise. They have those on Twitter, and like fans watch them like that, and I just think that the younger fans, how can I say this without offending our younger fans? I think you're a LeBron fan. So like, it's just like fashions now. It's fashions out there. Like, okay, no matter what this player does, he's mine. I'm going to root for him. And no matter what he does, I'm going to hate him. Like A Dizzle, I was talking to him the other day, and his new most hated player, now because everybody has their favorite player, but now this new thing that, he's my most hated player. Like that's a thing now. Like I have no idea why, but that's a thing now. And that guy, he is marked as his most.
I think him and I, we can relate on a lot of conversations. We hate, we like. Kev just likes. He has no room for hate in his life.
Karl Anthony Towns is like now one of the guys of the I don't like you club. Him, James Harden. Like it's guys out here that just like whatever they do.
His whole family to COVID. What do you hate him for?
Exactly. That's what I said. That's what I said. I was like, man, he actually played some good basketball in the playoffs finally. Goodness gracious, man. So, but like that's a thing. So I think the game is in a healthier spot because I think the fan base is a lot younger and they're more tapped in to what's going on. Then, not only when Michael Jordan retired, he was leaving, but the game was transitioning as well. You know what I'm saying? And the fan base was transitioning and everything like that. You had older people that basically grew up with Michael Jordan. Then you had younger people that all they knew was Michael Jordan. And now you have the younger generation waving the flag for Kobe and everything like that. But now you got people that don't even like Luka who are Trae Young fans. And then you got LaMelo fans. Like, I think it's like in a lot healthier place from a fan's perspective.
Yeah, I think it's healthy now. I thought it was very healthy back in 2003. That first season post MJ. But yeah, it's a good point. I mean, the game, it's not like the game was transitioning as MJ was leaving. The game is fully transitioned. Like LeBron's been a part of multiple transitions in the NBA, which has been pretty interesting to where MJ played. Well, he transitioned a bit, but it was less physical on his way out than it was when he came in.
Right.
he was responsible for that. Of course, the Jordan rules ended up being you had to have the antidote to it. You had to, you know what I mean? You had to fix that. But as I said, that is not talent, by the way. Just knocking people down is not talent. I mean, that's because you weren't good enough to stop them, so you shoved them down. That's not talent, by the way. But anyways, no. Anyways, no. But yeah, I think the league's. I mean, but good for the NBA. The NBA is healthier than we give it credit for. It's the only sport that can continue to lose the face of its sport and then continue just to keep on rolling. The NFL's in that boat too. Yeah. Baseball needs a face to lose for us to know what the hell it could do. Because it is whatever.
They need to do something fast because I didn't know this until, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week where the whole situation with the White Sox and Yankees was happening. I didn't know Aaron Judge was already 30 years old.
What? I thought
Aaron Judge is 30 years old.
How many years was he in the minors?
He got to the majors at 24.
I thought like that was the dude that was going to be the, but like I'm not saying he's old, but
he's 30.
But like we're talking, well, Jason Tatum, we were just shocked to hear that Jason Tatum's only 24 years old and he's been in the league for 4 or 5 now. This is his 5th year in the league. He's 24 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Judge was a rookie and he's in his 30s already. My goodness. Holy smokes. But you look at the NFL, all the stars, the new stars there. Look at all the stars under 25 years old, but Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. I mean, go down the list. It's insane. I mean, so yeah, that's baseball from. You get some of the better younger years of these guys developing in the minors, and then by the time you get to baseball, you have to make an immediate impact. The window's short, but I don't know. I find all that fascinating. Last thing here on the NBA, real quick, the Lakers came out. A report came out today that teams are willing to take on Russell Westbrook if the Lakers provide a first-round draft pick.
That first-round pick is going to be like in 2035 or something like that, ain't it?
26. I looked it up today.
Okay.
The Pelicans own
26?
Yeah. The problem is they don't even have a first-rounder this year.
4 years?
Yeah. When I looked it up today. Now, you know what's cool about I've never seen this before. So when the Pelicans got the 5 first-rounders or 4 first-rounders or whatever it was, they get to pick. Yeah. They get to decide if, is the draft going to be really good this year? Like the Obi Toppin draft wasn't very good.
Right.
So if the Lakers had like the number 1, 2, or 3 pick that year, the Pelicans could have been like, yeah, you can keep your first round pick this year. I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure it's a stipulation. You are what you negotiate. But I thought that was pretty fascinating. I had no clue that was a thing because I was looking it up. It said, the Lakers own a first rounder this year, next year, and in 24. And then, but next to all of them, the Pelicans own the Lakers own this pick if the Pelicans don't want it. And I thought that was a very weird way to, so anyways, but the Lakers though are they're being stubborn and not willing to move on from a first rounder to get rid of Russell Westbrook. My problem is this. You can't be thinking about the future right now if you're the Lakers. You can't be thinking about getting a younger roster if you're the Lakers, because here's why. As long as LeBron's on that roster, you're in a win now mode. You're in a win now mode. I find it weird when people talk about the Lakers, how, oh man, I can't believe how dumb the Lakers are to get LeBron and put themselves in this situation. You got LeBron, you got AD, you got a championship.
Got a chip.
At the end of the day, it's been a successful run for LeBron with the Lakers. He brought him a championship, because the worst thing that could have happened for LeBron after winning titles in Cleveland and winning a title in Cleveland, going to multiple finals in Cleveland, but winning 2 titles in Miami, the worst thing that could have happened was to go to Los Angeles and not win one. He won one. That's all that matters. This was a success. And right now, you could either go back into next season with this full roster with Russell Westbrook right there. I think it's dumb. We look at the NFL. The NFL has proven that draft picks, we were so terrified to move on from these, but yet look how successful these teams have been that have said, you know what, sure, these picks are valuable because of the youth that you get, but if you can get a player that can help you win right now, then do it. If the Lakers make a big splash, Kev, and they're able to get Kyrie, or they're able to get something to come in and the Lakers win a championship, sure, it might be close to 2030 before they have a first-round draft pick again. But if the Lakers can say they won 2 titles this decade, that's very on point with who the Lakers are. And I don't know how you could say that that's not worth it. Or keep Westbrook, and then you have a roster with AD, LeBron, and Westbrook and miss the playoffs. That means more to you than a potential 15 to 30 draft pick in the first round of 26. I just think that's very silly. I think right now the Lakers have zero shot of not just winning a championship, but making the playoffs with this roster constructed as is. This is your get out of jail free card. I think you got to move on from it. You got to get some star in return or get a bunch of role players in return. You got to get something. But to sit there and say that, to be stubborn and not be willing to throw in a first rounder to get rid of Westbrook and the cash, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Man, I could talk all day on this, but I'll keep it brief. One thing that they need to do is they keep going back to this reservoir of yesteryear. They're bringing back Phil Jackson to help them make moves in the front office. The only guy that you need to dip back into to yesteryear is Jerry West. That is the only guy that you need to be talking to try to make your team better. He is now working with the Clippers and everything like that.
In your own building.
Yeah, your own building. That is the architect of the whatever dynasty you want to call it. He was the architect of that. Jerry West, the logo. So if we're going to keep dipping back to yesteryear, dip back to the guy that actually built the team, built a team, not got a bunch of star players, built a team. Got guys around the main guys that are willing to do the dirty work, guys that aren't worried about stats, guys that aren't worried about this and that, or worried about the LA lifestyle, who are willing to get on the floor, play defense, and knock down threes, set picks, dive to the rim, and everything like that. Jerry West built teams and helped them win championships. So until whoever's running the Lakers is willing to do that, they'll be in this same position forever.
No, I get that, but right now you can't even be thinking about that. You have a 2-year window to win the title.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if
bringing Jerry West in means you have to reset.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like whoever, if it's Jerry West, if it's me, if it's you, if it's Phil Jackson, whomever it is, if they have to build a team, because the guys that they were gonna get could have built the team. I saw this a mile away. Like, dude, Buddy Hield would have fit better with the Los Angeles Lakers than Russell Westbrook. Buddy Hield does not need the basketball in his hands to score the ball. Buddy Hield shoots over 45% from the short corner three. Guess what Russell Westbrook can't do? Shoot the three from any corner. So it's just as simple as that. It's as simple as people thinking and looking at a piece of paper and say, like, oh, man, Russell Westbrook, he's a great player. LeBron James, he's a great player. AD, he's a great player. Well, do these players fit? Do they work as a team? And like until they figure that out, they up the creek, and the whole coaching thing is up the creek, and them having say so about a coaching staff and what type of offense they're gonna run. Look, the coach or the players should be in charge of what offense they're gonna run. And when I say players, I do mean LeBron James. Like the head coach and LeBron James should be in charge of what offense they're gonna run, not the GM, not the ownership. No, because you get too many people meddling in the pie. It's a disaster out there.
Yeah, and you look at the teams right now that are left in the playoffs, they're all teams with great coaches who the players respect and respond to.
Oh, man.
Luka's not bodying up Jason Kidd.
Oh, Duke could be cussing Tatum and Brown out.
Yep. But you know what? Those players, like, they're accepting coaching. This is why I'm liking the NBA more again, because I love LeBron. But the one thing, there's a lot of BS reasons why people say MJ is better than LeBron. But here's one reason that MJ is better than LeBron. Michael will always be better than MJ, most likely moving forward, because MJ accepted coaching. And if there's one player in the history of sports that probably had the right to say, you know who the hell I am? You don't tell me what to do. You want me to run this triangle offense and average 6-7 less points a game and make my number?
I'm going for 40, cuz.
No. Like, that to me is why MJ. That if you want to, don't give me dumb reasons why MJ is better than LeBron outside of the fact that here's the one reason why I can get on board. He accepted coaching. All right. That's the only reason. Well, he better in the finals because he accepted coaching. LeBron's a better player than Michael Jordan.
Oh.
No. Hold on. Hear me out. LeBron's a better player than Michael Jordan. He's a better scorer, better rebounder, better passer, bigger, stronger. This isn't even opinion. These are just, it's the statistically true. You watch it, but it's between the ears why MJ will go down as better than LeBron. Michael's talent didn't will teams to championships. Michael's mentality willed teams to championships because he accepted coaching. That's something LeBron's never been able to do. And that's why, every time when you look at the coaches that he's been able to go to the finals with, Spoelstra's the best one. I'm finally on the Spoelstra bandwagon, by the way. It took me a while, but because there were so many young coaches that come in and out during that time where I never gave any young coach credit for winning a title during the
he out there with me and you running point guard.
So, but my point is the NBA is fun right now because these young players, they're accepting coaching. I'm watching them get yelled at. I'm watching them respond to getting yelled at by going out and saying, oh, yeah, well, I'll show you. They're not yelling at the coaches. LeBron, how many times did we see LeBron throw a shoulder at David Blatt's way, or Spoelstra even? I remember they were struggling in that second to last year. That last year he was there and he kind of threw a little, not through, but like he walked by and he kind of bumped Spoelstra, and everyone was trying to figure out if there was something there because they were struggling a bit. My point is, LeBron, I'll give Kobe this too. This is why Kobe's probably a better player than LeBron, if you really want to talk about it, because Kobe is Michael Jordan 2.0. I don't know why he doesn't get talked about more like that, because he looks like him, he walked like him, he talked like him, he scored like him, he defended like him, he won like him. But Kobe accepted coaching. And when he didn't accept coaching, that was when he was at his worst. That's when he was getting beat by, as the 8th seed, and he was, he got all the shots and points he wanted, but he wasn't accepting. He played for D'Antoni. Who was the coach? Oh no, Rajonovich, or whatever the hell his name
Rudy
was.
T was there for like a year and a half before Phil came back. I forget who was in there after that for a hot second, but yeah.
Yeah. So to recap, I'm interested in getting the MJ LeBron debate, but my only point on this is people have all these opinions of why MJ is better than LeBron. But again, I think LeBron's a better player that's bigger, that's faster, that's stronger, that's a better scorer, that's a better rebounder, that's a better passer. I don't know how you can listen to that and say, oh yeah, MJ is better. MJ is better because what he was willing to do was, with his deficiencies, accept coaching that didn't just make him better, but made his teammates better. LeBron himself makes teammates better than MJ made teammates better, but LeBron's deficiencies of not accepting coaching and not willing to play within a system, that's what LeBron's left titles on the table, Kev. He's left titles on the table. That's the unfortunate part. And that's what these young players, watching Jason Tatum take coaching and Jaylen Brown take coaching, watching Luka take coaching from Kidd, watching Spoelstra be able to light into Jimmy Butler, by the way. And Jimmy Butler has an attitude problem, but you know what? He accepts
big
coaching.
Attitude.
So, gone are the days of Latrell Sprewell choking out a coach and stuff like that. But you want to know one of my favorite teams back in the day? It was that Sam Cassell, Latrell Sprewell, and Kevin Garnett Minnesota Timberwolves.
Very good team.
Flip Saunders. I love that team. That was when the Lakers had Mark Madsen and
Mad Dog.
Bryant and not Lamar at that time. That wasn't the Lamar. No, that was the Shaq.
That was Robert Horry at the power forward. Yeah.
So, anyways. ADD, got a little NBA talk in. Happy NBA fans. And you want more NBA talk? We kind of go where you take us. So if I went where Kevin takes us, it'd be NBA talk every day.
Factual.
I'm not against it, but 518-1410. Anything that we said that's on your mind, go ahead and call in. You could chime in. We can switch gears to some NFL talk, but if you want to keep the NBA talk going, make sure your voice is heard. Give us a call, 518-1410. But the NBA playoffs it's been a good playoffs because new stars are on display. But I agree, the games haven't been as great.
Yeah,
the first round was really good.
Yeah, first and second round been very good. Like we talked about earlier with Tatum and Giannis and the Bucks and Celtics. That went 7. That was a good one. Even the Memphis Golden State was good until Ja went down and messed up his knee and everything like that. That was good games. But this Western Conference Finals have been pretty good. They just come on super late. I mean, these games ain't tip until 9:45 and everything like that. And I try to save those type of games for the finals because we all know the finals is not tip until 9:30, so you're gonna be up until midnight. So
there you go. Yeah, more NBA talk. We'll go there if you want. If not, we're switching gears to some NFL talk. Hey, Bengals fans, listen up. Lance McAllister out of Cincinnati posted something a little bit ago about over-under came out on Bengals wins losses. And their reasoning for the Bengals coming in third in the AFC North, I thought was kind of bogus. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to defend your Bengals coming up.
Look at you.
I'm going to defend your Cincinnati Bengals coming up. But we'll be back. 518-1410. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
That is me.
Huh?
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Perfect air with a personal touch. Get up to $1,000 in rebates on a new Linux system or make no payments for 6 months when you finance a new Linux system for as little as $132 a month. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today to learn more or visit online at DaytonHeatingandCooling.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. License number, Ohio license number 14911.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Body Shop Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. Our technicians have over 125 years of total experience. That means we can repair your vehicle correctly and efficiently. So when you need a dependable body shop, we're here. And we repair all makes and models with new state-of-the-art equipment to get you back on the road quickly. Plus, we offer loaner cars during service and free estimates. Stop by and see us. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, State Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 with cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus on getting the best deal. Our Silver Unlimited plan is just $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. And it runs on the largest, most dependable networks, now with nationwide 5G. With the iPhone 13 on Straight Talk, you can share whatever you want, wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Kick off your summer with 11% off everything for your barbecue at Menards. Fire up the savings with $150 off a new charcoal grill. The 40-inch char griller is just $249.99 after sale price and 11% rebate. Pair that with a delicious deal on Clements Bratwursts. All Clements brats and sausages are just $249 after sale price and 11% rebate while supplies last. Good through Memorial Day. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Everyone loves shopping online. Well, I'm going to tell you what I tell my golf buddies when they buy clubs. Stop searching for coupon codes. Download Capital One Shopping to your computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Plus, it's free, and you don't even need a Capital One card to use it. That's like hitting a hole in one without even trying. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
Hey, honey.
Hey, Mom. How did Jordan's interview go?
I'm not sure. Your brother isn't home yet. Oh, one sec. Someone's at the door.
Are you Mrs. Lewis?
Yes?
Mrs. Lewis, I'm Officer Taylor. Your son was in a crash and has died.
What?
He wasn't wearing his seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle.
No. No.
Mom, is everything okay? Mom, answer.
Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, this is Alpha Media's Senior VP and GM, Brett Bayshore. I'm sure you would agree, blue diamonds and four-leaf clovers are hard to come by. Well, so is this rare opening for a digital sales specialist. We're expanding our digital team, and we're looking for a dynamic problem solver. If you have a passion for targeted display, SEO, SEM, social to mobile, or OTT, call me at 937-519-0111. That's 937-519-0111. Alpha Media is an equal opportunity employer.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
As much as we say we love nature, when it comes to bugs, not so much. When it comes to trees, the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture wants you to know that most insects are not harmful to trees, especially if their populations are small. There are exceptions to that, but don't forget, every insect has a predator that's just looking to make it a meal. So sometimes it's just good to let nature take care of itself. If you're concerned about insects in your trees, find an ISA certified arborist near you at treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
Dear Dad, this year we're making Father's Day extra special with the Untucked shirts that you love. Untucked has the styles that'll make your summer great, from wrinkle-free shirts to performance polos and more. They're designed to be worn untucked, so you can always feel sharp even at your most casual. Father's Day is June 19th. If you still need a gift, check out the new summer styles at untucked.com or one of 80-plus Untucked stores. Use code DAD for 20% off your first purchase. Untucked shirts, designed to be worn untucked.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. It looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. It's 4:51 here in the Miami Valley. We do have Reds baseball coming up here later on this evening, immediately following the show. 6:10 coverage begins for Game 2 between the Reds and the Cubs. Reds went down at the hands of the Cubs 4-1 last night, or 4-2 last night, or 7-4 last night. My goodness, get over it.
What was the score?
The Reds lost.
Guardians beat the trash can boys.
7-4, 4-2, 2-1. Come on. It's not like a 95. So to the Reds in the first row. There we go. But yes, but nonetheless, the point is, just listen. Damn it, we have Reds baseball tonight. Come on, but no, 6:40 the first pitch between the Reds and the Cubs. Yeah, you know, it's interesting too. Coming up here at the top of the hour, Kev, I wanted to get into this a little bit because it's funny how don't we as fans always feel like our team is hated? Don't we always feel like our team is disliked? Don't we always feel like our team is targeted by media? Oh, the media hates our team. Oh,
don't give us enough respect.
Yeah, national media hates our team. Or for a local show, he hates my. I say he because at this point it's he hates our local teams and all this stuff. We as fans always feel victimized by the things that are said about their team, right? I always make this analogy because I have all these kids, I'm pretty sure if I had a kid and if the kid was ugly, I would still be pissed if I knew my kid was ugly and you told me my kid was ugly. But the difference is the scary people are the ones who have ugly babies and they don't see it. Those are the people that scare me the most. Like I always respect people like, yeah, this baby's not as cute as the last one. Thank you. Now it's not awkward when we have this conversation. But the people that have the ugly babies, like, would you just look? Would you see the baby on that nose? Like, I mean, my goodness. So I say that because that's how we are as sports fans. No matter how ugly our baby is, we try to tell people, oh, look how cute he or she is. Oh, look how good our team is. Oh, look how good our horrible organization is. Right? Like we don't. And when people say that our team is bad, oh my goodness, we don't like hearing that our baby's ugly. We don't like hearing that our team is bad. And that is what leads to the love-hate relationship I have with 90% of our listeners, is because a lot of times the teams I'm most critical of are the teams that we follow the most here in the area. But it is what it is. And by the way, I'm pretty sure all of our listeners have very, very cute babies. Don't turn the station off. All right. I say that because, obviously I'm very critical of the Bengals at times, and there wasn't really a whole lot to be critical about last year. In fact, I had to eat a lot of crow at the tail end of last season. So it's time for me to defend the Bengals a little bit. So I don't even know what this is. So Lance McAllister, Adam says, I'm tackling all the controversial and hot topics on the show today. Oh, because I said I wanted to be high and gamble on sports earlier and now calling everyone's babies ugly. Yeah. No. So my best friend, him and his wife, they just had a baby, their daughter, Ren, beautiful baby, by the way. And I'm actually meaning, I really do mean that, by the way. But we're mean. We talk all the time like we're pretty judgmental. Let's just put it that way. So then I told my friend Dylan, I said, when you have this baby, I really hope your baby's cute because the things I say about other people's babies not being cute. I don't know if I can lie to you if your baby's not cute. Ren's one of the cutest babies I've ever seen. So just throwing that out there. But anyways, enough baby talk. I'm married now. And look at this baby talk all over the place. No babies. Where was I going with this? Okay, so Lance McAllister of Cincinnati tweeted this out, just shared it in an article, theanalyst.com. All right, and it's the 2022 projected standings out of the AFC North. Now, Kev, the Cleveland Browns are projected to win the division by going, they have about 10.8 wins and 6.2 losses. It's just a projection, whatever. The Browns, the Ravens second, the Bengals third, the Steelers fourth. And that's the projection for the AFC North. Now, by the way, it really could pan out this way. It could also pan out the Steelers finishing in first and the Browns last and the Bengals last and the Ravens first. I mean, guys, it could be all over the place. So it's just one of those where I'm not really getting into that game because I got bit pretty hard for that last year trying to predict all this. But anyways, so I'm fine with everyone's going to have their opinion of what their projected standings are going to look like. In fact, when we get into the dog days of summer and there's nothing to talk about, we're really going to be like, oh man, let's try to predict the AFC North next year. Kev and I, hot takes galore.
Absolutely.
So, but their hot takes for the analyst.com has come a little early. So they have the Bengals, their projections at about just over 8 wins. So about 500. Now, even I know, as a Bengals hater, after seeing what I saw last year with Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins and Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow by being sacked 70 times and one play away from winning a Super Bowl, now if you take 20 sacks off of that total, they win a Super Bowl, right? At least based on how things panned out last year. Every year's different. The AFC is ginormously better than it was last year, and it was pretty damn good last year. So I get why the projections are going to change a little bit, but even I have a hard time looking at this Bengals team who finally addressed the offensive line, who's going to have another full year of experience for Joe Burrow, T. Higgins. Jamar Chase will be second year in the league. Joe Mixon, this is the first time he'll play behind a good offensive line, and Joe Mixon is probably one of the best running backs in the NFL. No, scratch that. Joe Mixon is the best running back in the NFL at playing with a bad offensive line. Can you think of another running back that has been able to produce as much as Joe Mixon has behind a bad offensive line? I can't think of any. Not saying there's not, but I'm in a good mood today. Joe Mixon might be the best running back at playing behind a bad offensive line. So common sense would tell you, what can this cat do behind a good offensive line?
Right.
Like I've said this before, the offensive line is going to be more of a savior it's going to save Joe Burrow, but I think it benefits Joe Mixon more than it benefits Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's technically proven, Kev. He doesn't need a good offensive line to beat Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow did not need an offensive line to have 3 receivers close to 1,000 yards each. He had 2 receivers over 1,000 yards and one that was just a hair shy of 1,000 yards on the season. That's with being sacked 50 plus times or whatever it was. So I say that because I think that the Joe that is going to be benefited, that the offensive line will benefit Joe the most. And I'm not saying Joe Burrow. I think it's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is the best running back in the league with the bad offensive line. What can he do with a good one? I think Joe Mixon will improve drastically with the good offensive line more than Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow, he's going to have more time. I think his numbers will be better, but at the same time, Joe Burrow's pretty damn good. Threw for over 4,000 yards last year, folks, while being sacked 50 plus times. He's probably going to be sacked close to that 35 to 40 range, assuming maybe it's better than that. Okay, maybe it's better than that. But I mean, I'm just assuming that 20 sacks are going to come off that total from last year. What would that do for last year's Bengals team? So I say all of that because everyone's projections are going to change. Everyone's, a lot of rosters the Bengals got a better roster, but you know who got better this year too? The Browns got significantly better. The Steelers, who made the playoffs last year, who I thought were pretty lousy, they made the playoffs. They're way better than they were last year. And the Ravens are going to be better by default because assuming that they stay healthy, they're going to be healthy. So I say all of that to get to this point from the analyst.com, Kev. Here's their lazy point for why they think the Bengals are going to finish 8-8 and third in the AFC North. As I said before, they could easily finish in last. They could easily win it all. You could say that about all 4 teams in the AFC North. But here's their explanation. And I got this from Lance McAllister. I'm just being blunt. I took it from Lance McAllister. He shared it. I found it interesting. So with the Bengals playing the 21st toughest schedule in the NFL, according to the analyst.com, why is this projection so low? Here's their lazy response, Kev. I'm defending the Bengals here. Though the Bengals have made moves to improve an offensive line that was 25th in pass block win rate last year, their roster is not in a position to survive a Joe Burrow injury. That's why you have the Bengals going 8-8. You don't even have, as a hater, I could come up with so many different reasons why the Bengals will go 8-8. But the laziness of the analyst.com and whoever it was that wrote this article to actually say that the Bengals are going to go 8-8 because they're not in position to handle a Joe Burrow injury. Let's be clear. Let's go down the list, shall we? How good are the Chiefs to handle? If anything, the Bengals still have 3 very, very good wide receivers and a hell of a run game. In fact, I think that the Bengals are in better position to handle Joe Burrow being out with an injury than probably any other team in the AFC. I could be wrong, but I'm in a giving mood today. Not to be fair, no, because the receiving core is better than the Browns, so I'd have to say that. But you know what I mean? I think that's not true. I think the Chiefs are one-dimensional. The Bengals aren't one-dimensional. they're really one-sided, but they're not one-dimensional. The Chiefs are really one-sided, and they're one-dimensional. But I think that's very lazy to say that the Bengals have a win-loss projection of 8-8, and I quote, because their roster is not in a position to survive a Joe Burrow injury. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Joe Burrow's not injured.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Not when you have a quarterback as dominant as Joe Burrow, not many teams can survive a significant injury to their quarterback. Okay. So I find that very lazy. I think that's kind of weird. And you're welcome, Bengals fans. I'm glad that we're starting off this new relationship, at least for an hour. I'm sure I'll find something to complain about them in the next hour. But your thoughts?
That's far-fetched. I mean, you could just say that about any team across the NFL. Like, they're one injury away, their quarterback away from getting hurt, from not making the playoffs. That's basically any team in the NFL. What happens to the Dallas Cowboys if Dak Prescott breaks his ankle again? What happens to the Buffalo Bills if Josh Allen snaps his collarbone? That could be any team. So I think that's, as you just said, super lazy.
So there you go. But Bengals fans, your thoughts. It's not often that you get to tune into the show and hear Kenner defending your team. But I just thought that, again, I mean, maybe this is where it turns into a hater show, but I have no problem with them saying that they project the Bengals to go 8-8. For one, their schedule is significantly tougher than it was a year ago. All of the top teams in the AFC that the Bengals play, they play on the road. They play, you know what I mean? That's tough if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's just by default, the fact that everyone else got so much better in the AFC. There's a lot of reasons why you can look at the Bengals and say, oh yeah, they can go 8-8. But there's a lot of reasons why you say they can go 12-5 or 13-4. But I think by saying that, well, you know, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, they're not really set up to succeed. Newsflash. Nobody is. Nobody is. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Traffic.
All right.
This wagon commute is killing me. You mind if I turn on the old radio?
Oh, this song again. I swear they play the same 3 chants on every station.
At this rate, it's going to take a fortnight to get to work.
Well, just be glad you don't need to fill up. I mean, have you seen the price of hay?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout history, people have always hated to commute. That's why Monster lets you search work from home jobs. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Whether you're working from home, an office, or both, Staples has your tech.
A powerful PC that'll help me deliver the perfect presentation.
Staples has your tech.
How about wireless headphones so I'm not tied to my desk?
A second monitor that'll make multitasking manageable? Staples has you covered with tech solutions and accessories, from the latest laptops to networking solutions. And now, save up to $260 on select PCs. The latest tech solutions are at Staples. The working and learning store. Ends 5/28. In-store only. Limit 2 while supplies last.
Let's face it, you all have outdoor home projects to do. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil is here to help as the area's leading provider of processed topsoil, garden mix, animal bedding, and mulch. We cater to the professional landscaper, contractor, and the DIY homeowner. That's you. Buy in bulk, mulch, rock, topsoil, and sand. No matter the size of the project, we can help, and we deliver, often the same day. We also carry firewood, bedding, and fuel pellets. Mad River Mulch and Topsoil, just off I-70 and Route 4 in Springfield. Order online at madrivermulch.com.
Getting the perfect bite of a KFC hand-breaded 100% white meat chicken sandwich? That's finger-licking good. Order the KFC chicken sandwich in classic or spicy today. Prices and participation may vary.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, a high near 75. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy, a low near 60. And tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Over the last year and a half, we all learned some hard lessons. One of the most important is that you can't put off the inevitable. Hi, this is Mark Davis at Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery and Mausoleums. No matter how hard it is to think about, we all need a final resting place. When pre-planning with your funeral home, please remember that cemetery arrangements must also be made. Call us today at 937-890-1831 or visit our website at DaytonMemorialPark.com. And remember, Dayton Memorial Park is a beautiful place to celebrate life.
Want to see the recipe for the perfect meal? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken for great food on the go with a chicken breast combo for only $5.99. You'll get our classic Famous Recipe chicken breast that's fresh, never frozen. It's honey dipped, hand breaded, and pressure cooked, then served up with a regular side, a fluffy biscuit, and a drink. This is why our chicken is famous. Get the combo that can't be beat with a chicken breast combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
Do you or any of your family members, neighbors, or friends own a property that you just want to be done with it? If so, call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you to take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. Call 614-470-2000. That's 614-470-2000.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. If you've been waiting to buy, now is the time. Get $750 lease loyalty cash on all new Hondas and as low as 1.9% financing on the 22 Honda Pilot and 22 Honda Passport. Remember, we can get the new Honda you're looking for. We are taking deposits on current scheduled in-build Hondas every day. See me, sales manager Jason High, for all the details. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I hope to see you soon.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Alex Scott was a 4-year-old cancer patient who wanted to help find a cure for kids' cancer with a lemonade stand. Join Firebirds Woodfire Grill for Lemonade Days, June 10th through 12th. Donate to Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation.
Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's the perfect season to power your passions during Dell's summer sale event. Save up to $250 on the very latest Dell XPS computers and Alienware systems, all powered by Intel Core processors. You'll also find great savings on Dell monitors, docks, and other popular accessories. Special limited quantity deals start each weekday at 10 a.m. through May 31st. Plus, enjoy free shipping on everything. Just call 800-BUY-DELL for summer sale event savings. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, and we are back. I'm Justin Kinner alongside Kev Nash, 1410 ESPN Radio. So, Kev, I know even though you're Kev Nash, you are not a wrestling fan.
Wrestling.
You know, but, I was thinking about this earlier. You know, I hear this all the time. It kind of goes off of what we talked about earlier in the show, how we always think the media is out to get our team. We always think everyone hates our team. And I got to thinking about it. I'm like, in the wrestling world, they have your heels and your baby faces. Your heels are when they come out to the ring, everyone's booing them. I feel like I'd be a great heel. And then there's the Kev Nashes of the world, the baby faces, that when they come out, everyone cheers. They're more likable. I would be a great heel if I was taller and more athletic. I mean, there's a lot of things I could do better if I was taller and more athletic, but I'm just saying, like, I would be a hell of a wrestler. I'd be the best heel in the world, no doubt about it. Like I've said, I spent the first half of my radio career trying to be liked, and I was like, this is just too. I can't do this whole just trying to be liked. I need to do something I'm really good at, and that's being disliked. And my goodness, my career's taken off ever since then. So there you go. I can't be something I'm not, and likable is something I'm not. So there you go. So, but I was like, I could be disliked. I could really do that. I tell people that all the time, but. Got to thinking, if you start looking across the NFL landscape and, the heels and the baby faces, if your NFL team was a professional wrestler coming out to the ring, would that team be booed or would that team be cheered? The perception of these teams, like for instance, I think that the ultimate heel team in the NFL right now, the team that if you are not a fan of this team and you mention this team's name, the team that is the most hated in the NFL right now, I think is the Cleveland Browns. And maybe that's just me doing exactly what I'm accusing everyone of doing. Don't worry, that is not the true American introduction, although it is his theme song. Steve from Spring Grove is not on hold, by the way, although it would be nice to hear from him, by the way. I think that the Browns are the most hated team in football. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that, yes, our fan base is very obnoxious, but at the same time, Deshaun Watson, there's a loose, fun topic. I'm not going to ignore the fact that he has made this team very unlikable for the situation that he finds himself caught up in off the field that has kind of made us uncomfortable in the sports world of how to, we want to cheer our team and be excited we got an elite quarterback, but at the same time, at the expense of what moral code inside of us, right? Like I know I'm uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable talking about Deshaun Watson. I don't like talking about Deshaun Watson, but the fan in me from the, oh my gosh, we got a top 5 quarterback or a top 10 quarterback. It's hard for me not to be excited about that. But anything positive you say about him, you almost feel dirty until we know exactly what has happened.
Right.
But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. The point is the Browns, I think, are the ultimate heel. The Browns are the team that they would, in a wrestling match, Kev, low blows. They would cheat to win. They would be the Eddie Guerrero type, Ric Flair type. Like they would do everything they could. They would cheat. They would steal. They'd do everything they could to win. That's the Cleveland Browns to me. If they were a professional wrestler coming out to the ring, they would be the ultimate heel. But what about the ultimate babyface, Kev? Who is the most liked team in the NFL?
Buffalo Bills.
I think so too, but they're a year or two away from being a heel because they all go through this, by the way. Like, for instance, Patrick Mahomes was everyone's favorite.
Right.
Now he's starting to be disliked. Everyone goes at his wife. Everyone goes at his family. He's become his family. But yes, so you think Buffalo Bills, they're the most likable team in the NFL?
Yes. Just because of, dating back to when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost with the Jim Kelly K-Gun offense and everything like that with him, Thurman Thomas and everything like that, all those Hall of Famers that they had on that team. And then, since then, they've been a disaster outside of the one blip year that Tyrod Taylor helped them get to the playoffs and everything like that. I can't remember them being any good outside of those years. And now they're very good and they're everybody's darling. And they're like the AFC pick to come out the AFC and go represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I would say right now, the Buffalo Bills are the babyface of the NFL.
That's fair. Let's talk about who are the Pittsburgh Steelers, heel or babyface?
They are the babyface heel. They're the heel. They're the heel. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm just putting some wrestling.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers are always going to be the heel because they are the Pittsburgh Steelers. The years of tradition, the years of winning, the years they made the playoffs when they had nobody's business making the playoffs. Just this past season, them somehow making the playoffs and Ben's last year and everything like that, they are still the heel. The Dallas Cowboys are always going to be a heel as well. It's like some teams, in wrestling, like The Rock, he kind of like one year he's a heel, the next year he's a baby face and everything like that, kind of like flip-flops. Steelers and the Cowboys, they're always a heel because their fan base is so huge that you can't help but to dislike them. You can't help. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. They're always on to that 4:30 game, or they're always on Monday night, even if they got a losing record. Pittsburgh Steelers, primetime matchups at 5-5. Like, why are they on 5-5? We don't need to see this team. I want to see them because I'm a fan of the team, but like the average person, but their fan base is so strong and so loyal to the team that will always be the heels.
Yeah, I think heels, the New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Heel. But see, there's a pattern here. And I thought about that. Like, okay, what about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Ooh.
They are very likable.
Yeah.
Not by me, but they are very likable. And here's why I have a theory on this. Okay, Nora makes fun of me because there's a show I watched that she makes fun of me for.
Do tell.
American Idol.
Oh no.
I like those singing competition shows. I don't know why. I just really, I'm fascinated by them. And there was one time that Colin Cowherd put out a tweet that he dislikes those shows because he goes, I want to watch true, if I'm going to spend my time watching someone do something, I want to watch the professionals. I don't want to watch amateurs. That's why no one watches the G League. That's why no one watches minor league baseball. Sorry, Dragons fans. I know we do, but like we're fortunate to have one in our city. Like, you know what I mean? But like if we didn't and we could watch minor league baseball on TV, would you be running to your TV is the Louisville Bats appointment watching or listening for you? No. So I'm not taking a shot at the Dragons. I'm just saying like this market's a little different for that, but you know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're going to invest time into watching teams, that's why you watch professional sports. That's why professional sports usually get higher ratings than college outside of a couple, bigger programs and stuff. But he doesn't want to watch American Idol. He doesn't want to watch amateurs. He doesn't want to watch minor league baseball. He doesn't want to watch G League. He doesn't want to watch non-NFL football. He wants to watch the actual pros. And I got to thinking about it. I'm like, well, why are these singing shows so popular? And then she asked me why I liked it. I'm like, I really don't know why I like it. I just do. And then I figured it out. I figured it out because I'm watching this and I'm just watching a bunch of average Joe schmoes. All right. I'm watching the guy that won it this year. Said I didn't watch it that aggressively because I can't even think of his name, but I know that he's from Kentucky actually. But he was just a construction worker. He was just a construction worker. And actually the guy that won it last year too was also a guy that worked in construction. He's just your everyday average Joe. Your everyday guy that we would run into. Hey, Kev, let's go get lunch. We probably run into these average Joes every day. We're average Joes. Everyone around us is average Joes. We don't live this flamboyant life, right? We're just around a bunch of average Joes. So when I see celebrity, I can't relate to celebrities because all I see is people that live a different life than me, that don't experience the same struggles that I do. They don't worry about bills. They don't worry about, everyday life issues like us common folk do.
Right.
What I like about these singing competition shows is that you are literally watching people like you and I that are living everyday common folk, boring, everyday job lives. And then the next thing you know, they're superstars. That's why I find that fascinating. I find those shows really cool. It's cool seeing average people who live life like we do get an opportunity to put their talent on full display, and then they succeed, and they hit the ground running, and they become megastars. This kid a year ago was just a construction worker, and I am not disrespecting construction workers, folks. I'm saying like we're all like we just all live everyday common jobs, like common lives with everyday common jobs. And here we are a year later, and this kid just won American Idol, and he's up there singing with Luke Bryan and Katy Perry, and he has all these megastar. It was a really cool. I find those shows fascinating when you get to watch average, everyday, common folk get to experience and live out their dreams because they were able to take their talent and run with it. That's why I find those shows likable. That's the same quality I see in the Buffalo Bills that you just talked about. Everyday common to bad teams that do it the right way, that they draft really well. They sign good quality free agents. They got a good coaching staff. That's they're likable. You root for them, right? How about the Cincinnati Bengals? Although they weren't liked because they weren't likable because of how bad they were. But then they draft a very likable quarterback. They have very good quality men on both sides of the ball. They have a great coaching staff now. And all of a sudden, they're very likable too. They're the Bengals, and then they get this guy from Ohio who gives back to the community, and he's just so relatable and all this stuff. Now they're likable. That's why I like those shows, and I think that's why these guys are so likable right now. But then you know what happens? These guys that win American Idol or guys and gals that win, then they become superstars, and they don't look like your everyday common folk. They look like stars, and then you don't like them anymore.
Yeah, they start wearing all those cool clothes.
Joe Burrow.
I knew you was gonna go there. I set you up.
So my point is that's why Steph Curry was so loved amongst the NBA at first. Then he started winning titles. Then he started after hitting threes, he'd do the shimmy, and he'd do these things. And now he's cocky. Now he's arrogant. He's not any different than what he was when he came into the league. But we sometimes, I think, get jealous of successful people. Maybe that's what it is. I'm jealous of Joe Burrow. I don't know what it is. But my point is, these guys, the teams that do it the right way, they're more likable. You feel for them. They're a feel-good story. American Idol, these singing song competition shows, they're feel-good stories. No-name people who get the spotlight on them, and they take advantage of that. That's what these bad teams do. They finally get that quarterback. They get the coach right. They get the players right. Then they get the free agents right. Now you're watching them succeed, and it's a good feel-good story. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, that was a great feel-good story. You know who's no longer a good feel-good? The Chiefs. You're tired of Patrick Mahomes' wife. You're tired of all that. By the way, folks, Joe Burrow will be disliked here probably by the end of next season, if not the next 2 seasons. That's not me taking a shot. That's the reality of it. That's how this works. All right. You know what I mean? Like anytime you see a good feel-good story, eventually it runs its course and you don't like them. The Golden State Warriors are hated in the NBA. They were the most loved team in the NBA not even 6-7 years ago. But they keep winning. Now they're disliked. LeBron could do no wrong when he was younger. He was the face of the NBA. LeBron was a ratings king, still is, except you used to tune in to watch him succeed. Now you tune in to watch him fail. That's just what we do. LeBron used to be relatable. He was from Ohio. He was from Akron or wherever the hell he's from. You know, he's from Akron, just a kid from Akron, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could relate to him. Now you can't relate to him. There's nothing. You and LeBron have nothing in common. There's nothing. That's what I mean by that. I just think that eventually
what are you talking about, man? I got a $90 million Nike deal.
You do too, huh? You do too, huh?
I spent about $90 million on Nike apparel. Well, so let me ask you a couple teams then. I think these are pretty obvious, but I'll ask the Buccaneers.
That's a weird one. Are they as shouldn't they be hated more?
They got Tom Brady. Of course they're hated.
But is Tom Brady as hated as we think? I don't think he's as hated as we think. I thought he was more hateable in New England.
Who do you know that likes Tom Brady?
Outside of Ron?
Yeah, outside of Ron and Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, because I actually know like 3 Buccaneers fans, surprisingly. Outside of them, who do you know likes Tom Brady?
I mean, do you like Tom Brady? I like Tom Brady.
I respect Tom Brady.
I don't have it. If he's playing, I want to watch. If on social media, he's lovable on social media. I find him hilarious on social media. Yeah, there's a few. Like I find him more likable with the Bucs than I did when he was with the Patriots. I hated him in New England. Now all of a sudden, I like him in Tampa. I don't know why. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. What about the Raiders?
That's a weird one. I feel like history tells us we have
exactly.
History tells us they're the heel, but Derek Carr's a likable quarterback. Josh McDaniels now kind of makes them a little disliked. No one likes Josh McDaniels. He kind of has that Lane Kiffin feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the Lane Kiffin of the NFL.
And Lane Kiffin used to coach them too.
So it's just kind of one of those things. Lane Kiffin makes him a little unlikable, I guess, but I don't dislike the Raiders. When they had John Gruden before, all his racist emails came out. I love that he went back to the Raiders. I thought that fit. But the Raiders haven't had this evil persona, even though they do have a lot of players that get in trouble on and off the field. But anyways, I don't know. I don't look at the Raiders as heels anymore, but they kind of like that. They kind of want that. They kind of want it that way, right? Like, do you feel like they want an identity? Sometimes it's good to have that identity. And the Raiders, they want that tough identity. I just don't view them as that, even though
I mean, we talked about this yesterday with OTAs and everything like that, and the quarterback being the leader of the team. Derek Carr is a likable dude. So if the leader of your team is a likable dude, it's hard to be the heel. You know what I'm saying? When your quarterback looks like Marv from Home Alone, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to be like, oh, man, I don't like the Raiders. It's just hard to. So I would say they're babyface because of all the free agent moves they made this season with Devontae Adams and making the trade and everything like that. They also got Chandler Jones and everything like that. Like, I think people are rooting for the Raiders because, like, okay, they said, okay, AFC West, y'all leveling up, we'll level up with you. So, you know what I'm saying? I think they're a babyface now. What about the Super Bowl champs, the Rams?
Real quick, I think what we learned from that was if you have a quarterback that looks like anyone from the movie Home Alone, I don't like you. Kevin. So you said the Rams.
The champs.
I don't know. I feel like they're pretty likable. Sean McVay is a likable guy. I think now that they won a Super Bowl, I think they're going to start to border on that, they'll have that swag and that persona to them now, so they're going to become unlikable in the eyes of most fans. But you know what I mean? Like, for instance, real quick, the NBA, John Morant, everyone loves him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves Luka. But give it time. They'll be hated. Yeah. Giannis is the most likable guy in the NBA right now, I think.
Yeah. And Giannis
pretty close, though. Sorry, I'm jumping
Giannis number one for sure. For sure. Like, because people were teetering on he ain't won nothing. Boom. Won the championship. And not only won the championship, came back off an injury and won the championship and dropped a 50 burger to clinch it and hit all his free throws. So Giannis is on like I don't have to win it for 2 years and then people start hating me again. He's all good. Giannis is all good. But the Rams, I'm going to go with heel. Think about the guys that are on this team, especially the Super Bowl team. You got Aaron Donald, one of the meanest, baddest mofos ever to play on the defensive line. might be the nicest guy on the planet, but he looks mean. Jalen Ramsey doesn't stop talking, even though he wears a ski mask and a mouthpiece, never stops talking. Like, it's a team full of dudes that are some trash talking SOBs and everything like that. Even McVay, he's a trash talker. He's the head coach. And I mean, when Matthew Stafford be out here throwing no look passes, he be trash talking too. So I'm going to say the defending champs are heels.
Here's probably, and I don't know if the organization's disliked, but this individual is probably who's the most disliked player in the NFL? I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think he's the most pompous, arrogant dude that. The reason I also hate that is because he backs it up more times than not, but his playoff performances eventually, I don't know why he doesn't get more flack for that, because like you can't be that
through the rails this year. I know that. After that, I mean, like a lot of people try to cover it up like year after year and every year, but like after this year's performance, there wasn't anything Aaron Rodgers fans could say about that performance that they had against the 49ers.
Did we say who the most likable player in the NFL is? Is it Russell Wilson?
Russ.
We said that. So the NBA, we said Giannis is the most likable player in the NBA. But the NFL, who's the most likable player in the NFL? I think Russ. Joe Burrow might be up there, as much as it drives me crazy.
Joey B, Russ. I was going to say Dak, but Dallas Cowboys fans don't even like Dak, even though his teammates do. Probably Russ and Joe.
I'm trying to think of anyone else. A little bit. Carolina's not relevant. New Orleans isn't relevant. Tampa. So Tom Brady, he's a heel, correct? Is that what we're saying?
I would say so, but I just don't know anybody that is a Tom Brady fan that isn't either a New England Patriots fan or a Buccaneers fan.
Russell Wilson, to me, the most likable player. John Harvey, shout out to John Harvey. He said Larry Fitzgerald's the most liked.
Has Fitzy retired yet? Because I see him at all the Suns games when they were playing, but he didn't play this past season. So is he officially donezo? Because
question.
I don't know if we can put him in there if he's still if he's retired, right?
So, and I know we're missing some obvious ones too. The former Bengals O lineman that just won the Walter Payton, not Walter Payton. What's that? That's going to drive me nuts now.
Man of the Year, Walter Payton.
Man of the Year. Yeah. Why am I Whitworth?
Yeah.
Whitworth is very likable.
Yes.
As far as that goes. And what about here's a good one to close it out. J.J. Watt. He's annoying. He's an annoying good guy. He's almost so good of a guy that it's annoying.
I think he's going to be an actor. I think he's going to be in movies one day. I think he's going to be in action movies one day. He just looks like the guy. He's got obviously the physique for it. Yeah, he's likable. I wish we'd have came to the Steelers, came to us. We had both of the brothers. Both of them.
Do you have the best Watt?
Now, but
I think he could be better than his brother.
Could be, but his brother's a Hall of Famer. TJ is not a Hall of Famer.
Not yet. I'm gonna pull a Shaw, but talk to me later. Yeah,
JJ is getting fitted for the fit already.
For the jacket.
Yeah, he's getting fitted. TJ, give me another 2 seasons with 20 sacks, then we can talk.
I'll talk about Reds baseball coming up next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love